Ladies and gentlemen, I think we're live. You can see us
There
this
we
time.
Yeah, we are.
Let's just make sure it's going through audio-wise. Make sure we're not doing that either.
Hello.
There it is. I can hear us. We're done.
Ooh.
You know what?
Not Cool in High School podcast, episode 116, the history of Blockbuster Video. Or Blockbuster, I just put in the title.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
so,
works.
yeah.
I mean, they switched a couple times their name, like Blockbuster Entertainment and stuff.
If they were still open now, they would just be...
What do you mean if? They are.
All
They're
right,
holding down
if-
that fort.
Yeah. They're still
they,
on.
would,
back.
they would reduce it to just BBV. And so, like, you know, Dunkin' Donuts is now just DD or just Dunkin'.
I don't know. I don't feel like it would be the same.
It'd just be Buster. Welcome to Buster.
Busters.
Buster Prime Plus.
Buster Prime Plus.
All right, yeah. So that's our main topic. If you are hanging out with us, make sure you hit the like, share, subscribe. If you're watching this later, also do that fun stuff. You know, we have merchandise and the links below take you to all that. I'm not going to get into it. You've been listening for 100 and some episodes, hopefully. You know the deal. So we're going to jump into news or stuff that we're into right now to kind of kill some time. You good?
Before the big test.
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm real nervous, but I'm okay.
It's
I
open
think.
notes, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really a lot of huge news.
What do you mean?
This week
What are you talking about? We have
Alright,
it's a big week coming up.
coming up, but like
No, this week.
what's
It's
up?
a big week. Stranger Things season 4
yeah.
starts this Friday
Ooh.
on the 27th.
I'm behind. I think I saw like the first season. I don't even know
Oh,
how much.
well, it's a fantastic
catch
show.
up.
Season 2 is a little iffy.
I have to catch up.
Season 3 I really love. I think season 3 was my favorite of them. But from the things I've seen, and they have promo stuff literally everywhere. They have Domino's got in on it, Oreos, Burger King.
There's
I think
makeup.
like the
I've
pet,
seen makeup.
like
There's
was it
makeup.
PetSmart or something? I think they're in on
PetSmart.
it.
Literally, like every other day, there's someone new under the sun that's like, oh, us and even Me Undies is doing a collaboration with Stranger Things, and I have them ordered in my cart. In my
I believe
subscription.
you.
I believe.
You know, what, speaking of that, because since you bringing up who's going to get it next, I'm thinking they're going to bring it back to Fortnite.
You know who I think is going to get it next before even Fortnite?
Who?
Universal for Halloween Horror Nights.
That's true. They could.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you think they come? I think they're pretty set on Obi right now to end. Like I don't think I think they'll do Obi, but like I said, the season ending in 2 weeks. I'm not sure if it'll be
Well,
there.
I
don't
think it
they're-
ends
Well,
like
Stranger Things. has-
Friday of next week, so it may
Yeah.
start
well,
either the day
so
before or
this
after.
season is broken up into 2 volumes. The first one comes out 27th, and the second volume comes out July 1st. So we have 2 opportunities if Fortnite wants to hop back on the train of having Stranger Things back in it. However, Stranger Things has only been on the season once, and it was there for a weekend, and never again seen in the store, to my recollection, because we were in Texas at the time,
Yeah,
and I couldn't buy them,
yeah. I'm never
and
going
it
to
was
live that
Hopper
down.
and a Demi Organ. So hopefully, at some point, we get them back so I can actually buy them.
Yeah.
Um,
What have you guys been up to besides? I mean, I honestly, do you have any other news? Because I don't really have anything.
I have.
I know trailers and stuff drop, but it's nothing like brand new. It's all like a second trailer or
Yeah.
third.
Mhm.
I think Christian Bale was shown in a movie, but I try
Yeah,
I try
for
to stay away
Thor.
from like some stuff because I think trailers ruin too much.
yeah, they always give like the big stuff out.
I will
now.
say for the Thor trailer, if you're a fan of Chris Hemsworth, how do I say this? You're gonna see his butt. That's all I'm saying.
There you go.
Yeah, because they literally had to blur his butt in the trailer
Oh,
because Zeus, played by Russell Crowe,
Russell Crowe.
gets rid of his disguise and he accidentally gets rid of all his clothes.
There you go.
So
interesting for
Wow.
Disney.
He's gonna
Yeah.
show his
Yeah,
his
that's
his,
so
his hammer.
going from Doctor Strange being like a horror movie, and then they're gonna do stuff like that.
They're really changing it up.
Stretch.
They are.
I'll stick with the horror stuff. Speaking of horror, you're off this weekend, right? Or you're off Friday night? Why is that so high?
I don't know.
What do you mean
Really?
high? Did he move?
They always this way. Oh, I thought it felt weird. Who did that?
Probably Andy.
He's not
Um,
tall.
Jesus, shots fired.
Tall, he's-
You're off
Kelly's-
this Friday,
Kelly's
right?
the only tall one that sits in this seat. I work Friday, but I should be off the weekend unless I get over.
So you're on Friday night.
Yeah.
All right, Friday night we're recording Carrie. We're
Unless I get
our-
overtime, then I have to work Saturday. But
We'll record it at 7:00. It'll be a reasonable time. this Friday we're going to be dropping our brand new, our second edition of Not Cool in High School Horror. You guys dropped your first edition
We
of
did.
Disney.
Yeah.
Great job. It came out really,
Thanks.
really fun.
I didn't watch it yet.
You guys are. She's horrible. She's horrible. She doesn't
Sorry,
support.
I'm really bad at everything.
It's okay. We thought we would change some things up. Like keep the same kind of like look where like we have the lights and stuff,
Mhm.
but kind of Disney.
I'm trying something new this time. I'm doing half and half colors.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like,
Woo!
For instance, the Disney lights. For those of you who have not seen the episode, go check it out to understand what I'm talking
I
about.
mean, it's the most viewed thing on our YouTube right now. So that's cool.
Well, that's good. Off to a good start, I guess. But we actually got old Christmas lights. We bought them years ago, and they're those little ones that like you could put a little stake on and stick them. So I
Oh,
taped
cool.
2 of them to light poles, and I put them on the edge so that all you see is Mickey heads floating around in the background.
That's cool.
Just to kind of give it that little bit of.
I thought it was a strobe light.
No, it's not. It kind of is like a strobe-ish light. It has like this rotating thing on the inside, but it's only like this big.
Oh, with the patterns.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. You guys do a little fun like trivia battle.
Mhm.
I gotta say, you threw some softballs,
I did. Well, it was the first
and he
episode.
fucking cut your head off,
He did.
Yeah.
I was like,
Because
"What?"
you're like the Disney master. I'm like, oh, I gotta think of something.
dude. Anthony went for your neck.
He did. But I'm only a point behind.
Yeah, so that's not too bad.
Nikolai was like, in the movie, what color apple? And he's just like, and Anthony's like, who scored the second scene, but only for 13 seconds? And
All right.
Nikolai-
So one of his questions, however, I did get it right, and we do it where it's all multiple choice. But
That's a good idea. though.
even with
Questions like
multiple
Mhm.
choice, it's still a pain in the ass. Because he throws in questions like, there are multiple animals that help Snow White. They all have couples except one. What animal is it?
yeah, I was like, God damn.
I know. And you hear me in the background going like, oh my gosh, like really?
that
And then
wasn't
when you
even,
heard
that,
the answers, you're like, oh, I know what it is.
that wasn't even
Yeah.
the hardest one. There was some other ones in there
Yeah.
that were just
He's
like,
like, what is the correct phrase? Is it mirror, mirror on the wall or magic mirror on
so
the wall?
that's one of the ones that dive into the people think it's
Oh,
part of the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
we kind of
we kind of
debunked that, and it's all Shrek's fault. Because we're pretty sure Farquaad says mirror, mirror on the wall, and Disney says magic mirror on the wall.
Yeah.
So since I'm way more used to watching Shrek,
But I remember always seeing
Yeah, I remember
like
mirror,
merchandise that
Sure.
says mirror, mirror on
Always
the wall.
before
Yeah.
Shrek even came out.
but that's also like the poison apple. Like the poison apple that we know as the red and the white is only on screen for about a half a second.
Mm.
The most screen time that we talk about is the apple's actually black with blue dripping over it,
Mhm.
which I barely see merchandise for. Usually,
I think my Sensi upstairs has that.
it might.
The inside of it has the poison apple, and I believe it's a black with
Okay.
with green. I could be.
Yeah.
Well,
so
the dish is green.
I have seen some where it's the red with green
Yeah.
dripped over it, but I don't really see any with the black and the blue.
Yeah.
I actually kind of like better.
So I want to talk a little about something just to the people listening because no one here else watched it but me. But and I'm
What do
sure
you mean? We lived it.
no, I'm talking
Oh,
about
that.
the Disney thing. I went and I was like, oh, I'm gonna start watching some stuff. I got time now. So I put in the new Chippendale movie.
You put it in?
You put it in.
Where,
You put it
Where'd
in.
you get the disc
I
at?
rented it from Blockbuster.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Brought it home, popped it in. I streamed it on Disney Plus.
Oh.
And it had no business being that good. It was fucking awesome. It was almost like I felt like it wasn't like kids would enjoy it,
Mm.
but it was not made for kids. I feel like.
I mean, from the trailers and stuff, just from the voice actors, no.
I didn't even see the trailer.
So one of the voice actors is the guy who plays. Is his name? No, not Nick. From Big Mouth.
Seth. Oh,
Nick Kroll.
No, it's not Nick Kroll. It's his.
Didn't he
kid who
play
wears the
Spider-Ham?
glasses, and he plays like Spider-Ham and stuff.
John Mulaney, I think his name is.
Yeah.
who does Sean Mulaney play?
He's the kid with the hormone like the actual.
Yeah, no, the Hormone Monster's played by Nick Kroll.
No, not the hormone monster.
Yeah,
I'm saying
But who
the
does-
kid who originally has the hormone monster.
yeah, but who plays? What voice is he in the show?
Also
He's either
Nick
Chip or
Kroll.
Dale.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought they were just so the Chippendale. Now they're kind of thinking about it, they have new voices, but
Yeah.
when they get upset, they go to the chipmunky squirrel. Like pretty much saying that was just part of the show. Like that wasn't their real voices, and then
Yeah.
they talk normal. Like they don't have like their normal Chippendale voices. Yeah, John Mulaney or
Oh,
whatever
yeah.
his name is. Yeah, I didn't know he voiced like so. Like that's
Is he the
switched.
one that's married to Scarlett Johansson.
I have no
What?
idea.
Or am I mixing him up with
That's
someone else?
He's married to Anna Marie.
Oh no, I'm
Johansson.
Yeah.
So
no, I have him
so
mixed with
it's
someone else.
it's
then.
really really good. You're gonna have a good time picking at all the cameos that show up in it. And there's like, dude, I think we're getting to a point in the world where I feel like exclusive rights, they're getting heavier, but like they're getting lenient where like stuff is showing up other places and people are
Mhm.
being more lenient to let other properties go other places, which is weird and interesting. Everyone's leaning into this multiverse thing that anywhere can exist in
I feel
anywhere.
like that's good advertisement though.
I do too.
Should.
Dude,
Yeah.
recent Marvel movies, they're saying DC properties and DC properties are saying Marvel stuff. It's weird.
Mhm.
I
So-
mean, as long as they're not like defacing them, I feel
Yeah.
like the other
Well,
side's not gonna have a
Deadpool does that all
problem.
the time, though.
Yeah.
But he does that with everything, though.
Sure.
To be fair.
It's really, really good. If you haven't watched it, go watch Chippendale and get ready for when they cover it on Disney, hopefully soon.
So
They're going in
that guy
order.
plays Andrew. Well, we'll
They're
talk about
going
that.
in they're going in order.
Not exactly. We
Oh,
switched some
okay.
stuff up.
Oh,
Okay.
well, they were gonna go in order, and then if something new came out, they were gonna jump
Yeah.
into that.
We were gonna
Okay.
jump into
Mhm.
new stuff. So what our original plan is, but maybe we'll push this one ahead a little faster just because it's something new, was that we were gonna start with Snow White. We were gonna pick Phantasmic and talk about the difference between the Orlando version and the California version.
Oh,
And-
so you're doing like park stuff.
yeah.
So, it's not
So
just
yeah,
movies.
it's gonna be a mix of like park stuff and
That's cool.
whatnot. And then
Disney
for
video games.
yeah, we'll do Disney
Yeah.
video games and stuff. And the third episode, we talked about doing Toy Story because that's Pixar's first film, and kind of so that way there's
Jump
a mix
around.
of new and old, but it still kind of follows a track.
I'm into it.
So we'll see, where this Chippendale movie falls into.
I want to be on the Jungle Book episode.
Okay.
That's my favorite movie. That and Oliver Company are my two favorites.
Yeah, that's a
Maybe
great
they
one.
don't- Maybe they don't want you on there.
Well, fuck, it's my network. I'm jumping in. I'll just show up. I'll cut the banner. Fucking stick my head through. Here's Johnny. Anyway, no, it's really good. I'm glad you guys did it. It came out really well. I'm excited to see
I
more.
have to watch it.
Um,
weekend or something.
Yeah, let us know in the comments if you checked it out or you watched it. And once again, just let them know.
Who do we have
get some feedback.
watching?
I have no idea. Probably nobody.
Oh. We
'Cause
threw them off.
Everyone's waiting for 8 o'clock, I guess. We'll say that.
Maybe.
We'll say that's the excuse. I just don't care.
Well,
Anyway,
we threw them off when we exited.
yeah.
quickly.
Yeah. So, any other news or things that you guys were into over the week?
I have
Like, just
a
in
piece
general?
of news here. Nikolai, you're going to be excited for this. There's going to be a Harry Potter Magic Awakening game on iOS and Android and PC.
Oh,
so-
this is like a card game,
yeah, it's like
thing.
wizarding, dueling, collectible cards.
but it's
stuff,
only
and role-playing.
downloadable in the Google Store.
It's probably not
Google Play
available
Store.
for
According to the ad I
iOS
saw.
yet.
Yeah.
I think they announced too. I didn't read it because I don't have a PS5, but I think they announced that the new Harry Potter game is going to have special PS5 features because they have like a Joy-Con style thing when their controller, like a haptic feedback. They have
Oh,
a special controller that they can do special features on. So the PS5 version of Harry Potter is going to have a special feature that no one else is going to have.
Oh, okay. I mean,
It has something to do with the controller, is my guess. It just says special feature
Yeah.
for PS5. Who knows? I don't know. We'll see what happens there. That's all I got. I mean,
I have
Anthony
a
has
top
one.
10 list
Okay.
here from IGN. The top 10 best co-op games.
My opinion, I think the music game should be in there, like the Guitar Hero Rock Band.
Okay.
Super Mario Bros. It's got to be in there. It's like one of the first major talked about like multi-plat games where it had two different characters that you can pick
Mhm.
from. That's got to be there. Sports games like Madden and stuff.
So let's go through it. Number 10 is Splinter Cell Conviction.
Wow, I didn't even know it was multiplayer.
Uh,
Call of Duties are considered multiplayer, right? Like the
I would
shooters.
imagine.
number 9, Overcooked 2.
Okay,
That it's a really fun game. Like you're like cooking food,
You're an
like
egg.
and like you're
Interesting.
delivering, like putting it out to people and stuff. It's a really fun game.
it's like like one of those ones. It's like
So this is a simulator.
it's like pitch.
No.
It's like that Pictionary game where it just super fast paced. And you have to remember how to do things, and it's like memory
Yeah.
based. And then if you fuck up, it just like explodes in your face.
Oh,
uh,
okay.
Okay.
number 8 is Streets of Rage 4.
Okay, side scroller beat 'em up.
Number 7 is Divinity Original Sin 2. I don't know that one.
Yeah, never heard of it.
Number 6, Monster Hunter World.
Huh.
So definitely interesting choices on this list. Number 5, Left 4 Dead 2.
Yeah, Left 4 Dead's
That I
gotta
would
be-
say that one should have been on the list regardless. Number 4, Sea of Thieves.
got really popular. That game,
I played it more during the Jack Sparrow stuff, and that was
Yeah.
it.
that game. So there's two games that I've been really kind of hearing about and watching videos and just hearing people's thoughts on it. I haven't really gone back and played them. One of them I really want to. I don't know if you guys would ever be interested in like futzing around and playing with it. I have a lot of time on my hands now until things open up. But Lost Planet or no, No Man's Sky is one.
Isn't
of them.
that what you made us download and then we never played?
Yeah, I know we never because you're always like I'm fucking doing things. You lose or get a life. You're telling me. But no,
We've
that's
had this downloaded, I think, for like a year at this point.
There are two games that were installed that came out that had big promise that people were like, not into it, and they just stuck with the game plan and kept making content for it, and now they're like completely different games.
Yeah.
And there's rumored that that's going to get even more content coming very soon, like big name content.
Okay.
Like another big chapter to it. Sea of Thieves.
Hmm.
I tried it. It bored the hell out of me.
Yeah.
I would say like if you're with people, sure, I feel like it's fun, but playing by yourself is not fun.
You're just stuck in a fucking boat, and God forbid you fall off it.
Yeah,
And you're just stuck in the middle of the ocean, and the map is huge. It's a lot. There's a lot going on.
hopefully there's no sea monsters attacking you
Or krakens.
Great.
because you can't defend yourself. You gotta quickly switch from the wheel to go over to the cannons.
It's a
It's
nightmare.
ridiculous.
It's a fucking nightmare. I played it with a bunch of people who were like, I played it with a group of people, and they knew what they were doing, and they were like, "Fucking to do this with the ships," and I'm like, "This is fucking crazy. Just like, what are we doing?"
What is this again?
Sea of Thieves. You're just a pirate.
Oh, that
Yeah.
game. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot. I couldn't figure it out.
No, that's fine.
Number 3, It Takes Two.
That's a really popular new
Yeah.
co-op game. Yeah.
Oh, I thought of the movie from.
Yeah, I was like the movie. They're making movie games again.
I wish. Number 2, and there's a specific title. It's not the series.
Uh-oh.
Of Unfortunate Events.
No.
Oh.
Rock Band 4.
Yeah, the most recent one because you can put everything onto it,
That's the most recent one.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but when they added the rivals thing, I think that's what brought people back into it more, make
Yeah.
it more competitive.
agreed.
And then number 1 is Portal 2.
Wow, no Super Mario Brothers.
Is that the one
Nope.
where you just keep jumping through the portal?
You have to like make portals and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like basically just like a puzzle game. You have to figure out by like
that's
putting
insane.
boxes.
How do
in
you
places.
not put Mario Brothers in there? Or
I was shocked to see it not in there at all.
that's insane. All right,
So
new generation.
I did some reading
Oh yeah,
lately. Yeah. So the Black Phone is coming out in June. I
Oh
believe.
yeah.
the
uh,
fuck's the Black Phone?
Black-
So
Phone.
it's Joe Hill's new
Yeah.
movie.
was Stephen King's son.
Yeah. So I'm a big fan of like the Lock and Key series and stuff. That he kind of what got me like hooked into him. But then he also
I
did
didn't
the movie
realize he did
Horns.
that.
Yeah. What did I say?
Lock and Key.
Yeah, Lock
I
and
didn't
Key.
realize he did
For
that.
some reason, in my brain, I also thought I said Stranger Things. I was like, no, he did not do that.
Yeah, I just found out he did horns. I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
He did Horns
Good movie.
as well
Yeah.
and stuff. So
Mhm.
I've kind of been like slowly following certain things that he's
Mm.
done. So I was like, I'm gonna go buy the book. I want to know what happens in this before the movie happens, which I never do.
You're gonna hate yourself.
Guess what? It's all short stories.
Oh.
So I didn't even get to the Black Phone yet. The first 2 short stories are wonderful. They're like 20 pages each. So I believe the way that this is gonna go, like I think it's like close to like a 300-page book, but it's filled with short stories that he wrote.
I didn't know that.
And one's about like a ghost that, funny enough, dies in a movie theater. And the last movie she saw without seeing the ending before she died was The Wizard of Oz.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
They didn't take a heart attack in the bathroom. And
No, they didn't take a heart attack in the
And
bathroom.
the shitty usher never came and checked on them.
Yeah, no. But she
Whoops.
like it's supposed to be like this haunted thing that happens, and people like fake stories, and they're like, oh yeah, she came to me and her eyes were all bloody and all this kind of stuff. And the owner of it is like, no, I know who has really seen this girl, because all she wants to do is talk about movies.
Hmm.
She doesn't want to necessarily scare you. Like she eventually, like from the way it's
Sounds
written,
like a cool
she
ghost.
decays like in
Oh,
front of you kind of deal.
that's-
So but she's not there to like haunt you.
She's like, so what happened? And like her
Yeah,
eye falls out. She's like,
Kind of.
did they ever find the? You're like, what
Kind
the fuck? Fuck that movie.
But I don't know. They've been fun stories so far. So I look forward to seeing what the Black Phone is, and then how they turned like possibly like a 20-page story into
A
like,
movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
full length.
Ethan Hawke, he hasn't really done much in a
Yeah.
while.
I'm excited to see him as the
Yeah.
the bad guy.
Speaking of black things, Black Mirror, I think it got rebooted
Oh yeah, they
for
got Was it season 5?
4 or 5 or something. Yeah, that got picked back up, which is awesome because I think it's a good show. That's a good show, and I've been watching. I don't know if it's still on or if they're still doing it, but the Jordan Peele version of Twilight Zone
Okay.
on Paramount Plus is pretty
I
good.
haven't seen that.
It's really
I
good.
haven't seen that yet.
I'm just
It's fun
living
stuff.
in the old world.
Yeah.
Oh, I do have some news for you, Tony. It's a Rock Band specific news. The DLC that's coming this week is 2 songs that are technically they're Dave Grohl
From
stuff.
Studio 666,
No, I wish it was.
Tenacious D.
No,
No idea then.
one
Nirvana?
is just Foo Fighters
Okay.
in general from their latest album, and then their side project, DGs, where they do
Oh yeah, where they do all the
Bee
Bee Gees
Yeah.
covers. Yeah,
Like I think You Should Be Dancing or something that
Mhm.
they put in there.
it's really good. The Foo Fighters do an entire Bee Gees cover album.
Okay.
It's like Bee Gees are like disco,
Yeah.
and disco like ruined rock and roll for a while, and they do it called the what do they call it? The DGs.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's the DGs. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's really funny. But what do you got? You had something pulled up.
Just the season finale tonight of This Is Us, and that's like the end of
Thank
the show.
God.
No.
I can't wait for
So
this show
sad.
and for fucking Grey's Anatomy to be done.
Yeah.
That's never gonna end.
No, it needs to.
It
though.
won't though.
She
know, but it-
Grey's
she
Anatomy will
watches
never end.
She watches
has
these
to.
shows and just ugly cries for
This
2
last
hours.
Season, so I watched last week's season episode. The whole time I cried because it's
So
very
is
sad.
that when
How is it
you
enjoyable?
Snapchat filtered her
Yes.
with that weird one where it looks like you're happy, but is
Yeah.
Probably.
She just I don't understand watching a show that you bawl your eyes out.
It's just so. It's not always like sad crying.
You're in too
A lot of
deep.
it's happy. I am. I'm in too deep. I get super connected. But this one was really good, and it's only 6 seasons, and they're ending. it, which
Only
is
6
good.
seasons.
I mean, it could be
How
worse.
how
When I
long
first
how long an
started-
episode?
It's like 45 minutes.
All right. So for four how many episodes per season?
I don't know.
I'm just trying to break down how much you fucking cried watching this
Okay,
show.
everyone.
Oh,
I
yes.
actually almost never even watched the show. When it first came out, I was like,
Oh
oh,
my
it doesn't
God.
look that great. And then I started it and I couldn't. stop
Between
watching
this
it.
show and Grey's Anatomy, if you break down seasons by hours and
It's a lot of
episodes,
crying.
dude, I could fill a fucking swimming pool with her tears.
I cry about everything though.
Ugly cry. I fell asleep on the couch as she put it
It's real
on,
bad the other
and I
day.
woke up to her going. And I turn and look, and she has the blanket up like this, and she's leave me alone. I'm like, why do you do this to yourself?
I don't know.
I don't get it. Like a lot, if it's a TV show, it normally
You
has
just
to be
get so
funny for me.
invested. Like I don't know. You get so
There's
invested
moments in The
it.
Office that get me because you're invested with the characters,
Oh,
but not every episode can't be a tearjerker. Like I can't fucking handle that. The world's already sad. I don't need my
It's
TV
not
to be
always
sad.
sad though. Like some
Yes.
of it's happy crying.
It's still crying.
Whatever.
It's crazy. Too much.
Whatever.
I'm sure our female listeners
Anyway,
hate what
it's
I'm
the
saying right now,
season
but
finale and
Can't
the end
okay,
of the
but
show.
there's one thing at being in touch with emotion, and we're just gonna make you cry every single episode. It's like now we're just desensitizing you.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's
not
desensitizing.
he's
no,
dramatic.
no, no. I'm
It's
just saying,
not
like, if it was to that extreme
Yeah.
level, it would be like
too much.
we just don't want you to ever have that feeling again.
Yeah.
So watch this.
It's not always every episode or not the whole episode. He's just dramatic.
So, as soon as how does the music
Also,
start?
I just cry a lot about
The
everything.
fucking as soon as the
so.
song starts, it's like in the eyes of an angel starts playing and a puppy dog is showing.
Oh no.
All right. Well, that, to be fair, has been baked into our brain
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
years.
sad.
It's
So sad.
it's unbelievable. All right.
No, I'm not ready.
Anything
I
else?
do have
Actually, I
one more
don't.
thing in
Okay.
news.
Before the test.
Yeah, before the test. Universal Studios have made their first official announcement for Halloween Horror Nights for their
Ooh.
first house.
Fun.
Grey's Anatomy.
No, oh my god.
It is a
It
horror.
needs to end. It
That's
really
it.
does.
It is a licensed property. It's not one of the original. So they
You
usually
mean,
try
it's
to.
an original.
Well, I mean, it's still a licensed property. It's theirs, but it is Universal Monsters. They're doing Dracula versus the Mummy
Ooh.
versus the Wolfman.
Which is what Anthony's shirt is.
Yeah,
Very cool.
brand new shirt,
Oh, nice.
and it just came today too. So
Good time.
I want to experience it just because she's really into and like they're just like haunted houses, right? Like on
yeah.
steroids.
But like, yeah.
well, when you go to certain sections of the park, they have like the one year it was killer clowns on the street.
Oh,
That
very
you walk
cool.
through that.
or like Zombieland.
Mhm.
or like
Just-
Or if like Crypt
fucking
TV,
hate
they
being
had a whole
poor.
thing of that, of like walking through the
Um,
streets.
what was the one where it was like almost like this future tech people or whatever like took over?
Oh, like they're wearing like those white suits.
Yeah, they
or
were like
whatever?
walking around like hazmat suits and like trying to like keep you in line.
Wearing hazmat
They
suits.
recruited
Kinda-
him.
That was
Yeah,
just,
they recruited me.
that was just real life. That was
Yeah.
hazmat suits. Yeah, it's called a pandemic. It was terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, buy merchandise and subscribe to our Patreon so we can go to Halloween Halloween night sometime.
And go
Yeah,
to Oregon.
That sounds really cool. What's that?
And go to
yeah,
Oregon.
go to Oregon.
Go to Blockbuster.
That's where last block.
Oh yeah, we can go there
You can't
too.
get like a date though. They're like out for like years
What do you mean?
trying to get in there. They're like
You
booked
just
up.
go.
Well, yeah, but you can't like stay there.
No, but I mean, we could still go and like get a picture in front of the big thing on the wall. And
Just
She
get
wants
a
to-
picture in front
She
of the
wants to
building.
spend the night.
yeah, you can still go in and rent movies and stuff.
Here's my
Can
question.
you?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like a still functioning Blockbuster.
Here's my question.
Okay.
If we were to spend a night in the last Blockbuster Airbnb,
What movie would we watch?
what movie do we watch?
You have to watch one.
You have all night.
Yeah,
I'm fucking sleeping. I'm not saying up.
I'm not. You could
Well,
sleep on the plane
Think
on
about
the way
all the
home.
content
All right,
you can
what's
make
the first
in the
movie?
Blockbuster.
What's the first movie we watch?
Oh, Scream.
Scream.
Good call. I like that.
Scream.
Yeah, I would say that. So are we getting into the topic now? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, I'm trying
All
to
right.
transition in.
So no, the reason why I say this is because I was gonna hold back a little bit. But funny enough, the guy who played Randy in Scream worked for Blockbuster.
Yeah.
And during the commercial series and stuff. And it actually got him he was a struggling actor before that set of commercials for Blockbuster, and that's what got him all the roles that he was in.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't for Blockbuster, he would not have been Randy in Scream.
And he worked at a movie store.
I personally never worked at
What the
one.
hell?
So we had
Would've
for
been
What do you mean
cool.
you
I
never
wanted
worked
to.
that one?
not like a movie
Not a
rental.
rental, but you
yeah,
worked at a movie store.
Yeah.
Kinda. I mean, I don't know if I worked, but
No,
You're right.
you didn't work. I
Heidi,
did.
tell Tony
I worked
to
at a
go
mo-
take those boxes.
I worked at a movie theater. You don't rent those. You just kind of watch them and leave them there.
Yeah.
But we had a lot of mom and pop
We did.
Yeah.
places. And
Yeah.
then unfortunately, a lot of those mom and pop places were taken out by Blockbuster.
Well, funny enough, some of those stuck around longer than Blockbuster
Mm.
in this area.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Because small towns support small business.
Yeah.
There's still, I think
What
there's
did you
still
guys have here?
in Monty City.
Like the area, yeah.
So
well, we had 48 hours in Tamaqua.
Okay.
yeah, and
Mhm.
Monty City had Genie's Video and TNT Video.
I think I had West Coast Video or in Reading, like on the corner.
Yeah.
block. I think it was West Coast.
Hmm.
Video.
But West Coast was
Used
still
to
a
go
chain.
down there and get like
Mm.
I don't know. It was
That was
the
a
only one
chain
near me,
still.
but it was like a little corner shop, like a little corner.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't a big
Um,
thing.
Hazelton had Blockbuster and Hollywood Video.
Yeah, Hollywood Video started popping up there,
Mm-hmm.
and then Hollywood Video kind of became the cooler spot because they leaned more into video games too. And then they had a side store that was called Game Crazy. Or yeah, no, is it Game?
I don't know.
Crazy?
I didn't look up Hollywood stuff today.
No, there was one in Pottsville by the bowling alley. I could have sworn it was called Game Crazy. It was a game. So like when you walked into Hollywood Video, there was a section to the like. I'm just gonna say the right, and inside of a store, but instead of building walls, they made it like it was all chain link.
Oh, I thought you meant like behind the curtain.
No,
No, there was no curtain.
There was no
No.
pornos in Hollywood
Yeah.
in
We're the
Blockbuster.
There
cheerleader
wasn't any in
movies.
Blockbuster.
Yeah, that's why they went out of business. What if
Yeah.
Netflix added porn? I mean, they got close.
I mean, they are
got
pretty close with some of the movies that are on.
Orange is the Black.
365. That's a porn.
365. Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I watched both of them.
Did
Really?
you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
It's
second
pretty
one
much
not
porn.
as much, but the first one definitely.
Really?
Definitely.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Is it
For
like-
sure.
It's like softcore.
So it's supposed to be.
It is.
From the way I understand it, it's a
Eh.
book series, and it's supposed to be
It
what
is.
50 Shades was supposed to be
Yeah.
Oof,
because it's filmed in Poland and stuff.
Yeah.
So I have a DVD of part one that I got from Poland. It works on our players and
I
stuff.
was looking for the books, but I
Uh,
couldn't find them in English.
I'm gonna quote super bad. For me, I'm gonna need P in the V in my porn.
Well, they're pretty
Oh.
close to it. You
Listen,
see a lot.
There is. I'm gonna.
Go ahead.
No, I'm not. I'll text you. I'll specifically text you this so that they can see your reaction if you want,
Okay.
but
yeah.
they don't actually have to hear.
Also, yeah, and then there was that other show where they showed the guy like the big old dong. I can't remember what it's
The
called.
big old donger.
Big old dong.
Huge
Yeah.
dong. We need more of that in movies. There's a lot of
Agreed.
boobs. We need some.
There's a lot of that actually coming out now because now there's Minx on HBO and they show lots of them.
We need to balance it out.
We do. I
Yeah.
agree.
And some dongers. Dongers are always fun to me. I've watched Jackass my whole life.
Here, I texted it to you, but that's what happens in one of the scenes.
The main guy in the movie.
Why are you reading it?
Because now I know what you texted me. The main guy in the
Can't
movie
read it out loud.
face fucks a flight attendant.
On
Yep.
his private plane.
Yep.
That's. I mean, if you have a private plane, that's.
Yep.
But I'm just saying that's
part
the
of the
kind of
rules.
level that we're talking.
Yeah, but they don't show like
Oh,
They do.
they don't.
a D in her mouth.
It's pretty damn close.
Yeah.
They don't
It's
do
as
like the
close as
camera
you can
trick
get.
where
It's
she's kind of you see like her head, but you don't see.
No, it's not. There's nothing floating in her mouth. There's something.
Okay.
I don't know what. There's something.
Floating in her mouth. This show is taking a turn. Yeah,
They
so if you-
show a lot more than anything
Yeah.
else I've seen on Netflix.
the
But
back-
it's also from another country.
Right.
So,
So their rules are a little bit different.
Yeah.
we watched a horror movie
So,
that got
it's
pretty
good, though.
graphic one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I mean, this was better than that.
yeah.
It
Anyway,
was enjoyable.
Blockbuster really did not have porn section. That's why we got there. But yeah, so
no porn crates either.
no, and then Blockbuster obviously had the movie and video games. So like the video game section wasn't always the greatest.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Movies you can get whatever you wanted, especially if it was brand new. Video games
Yeah.
not so much.
So, like in the documentary for the last Blockbuster,
Mhm.
when it comes to like the movies and stuff, if you go there now and are like, "Oh, do you have this movie?" and they say no, they order it
Oh,
so
Really?
that they never have to say no to that title again.
Wow.
That's cool.
So I thought that was really impressive, like on their end.
I
you
don't
know.
remember. Wish I should have.
They're like, can you
rewatched it 'cause
get
I don't remember
Dogma
all that.
on Blu-ray? And they're gonna be like, yeah. And they're like, bro, it's $400.
Okay, well, to be fair, in the documentary, Kevin Smith was in it, so I'm sure he could.
Just give it to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith, but you can make Dogma available again, and the Red State. That'd be great.
I'm sure there's going to be an anniversary edition at some point.
Yeah.
Jesus, there's
There's
Um,
anniversaries for everything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
expensive. Yeah. I just remember video game renting from Blockbuster went away really, really quick for me. I just remember renting like 2 or 3 games, and then they're so fucking scratched that by the time
Yeah.
you try to get to the part of the game you want and it doesn't read, I'm like, this is bullshit. And I just get
Or they didn't have the games all the time that
you might as well go buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like the early stages of GameFly was kind of getting
Yeah.
there too, where it's like, well, I can just they'll send it. But even that still sucked. I would just go buy it. I'd just buy it because
Well, because then you had to wait for it, and then you'd be expecting, and
Awful.
then they'd be like, "Oh, we don't have it."
yeah, it was
Mhm.
awful. I never got into video game renting, especially when everything switched to discs. It was just too much.
I'm sure, like when it was like cartridges and stuff, it was a bit easier. Like if it was a
Mhm.
64 game or something,
Yeah.
where it's not.
And they never checked it. They would just put it back on the shelf every time.
Oh, I know that for a fact. For not with Blockbuster, but with like the local one with 48 Hours. I rented a Yu-Gi-Oh game for the Game Boy Advance. They gave me Castlevania. It was in the wrong box. It was labeled wrong. I was like, I went back to them like 3 times saying, no, this is not the right game. And they looked at it and like, whatever. And they just,
They're like, here's
And they put
Castlevania.
it back on
Yeah.
the shelf like that.
yeah. I was like, well, that's crazy.
You're like, I'm glad you're out of business, fuckers. Can't read
We got a lot
Castlevania.
of great stuff from them
And
though, when they closed.
Oh yeah, we'll get
Yeah.
to that.
With one of the other things was, I was like, oh, I'm really excited to play Iron Man 2. It was always out for some reason. I was like, why is this always gone? And then I played it. I was like, this was not worth the wait. I was like, this was garbage.
And you always had that scumbag who would keep it forever.
Mhm.
Never bring it back.
Yeah, I hated that. Yeah. So what? Like, there's a little, not too much of an age difference here, but like, what was your closest Hollywood video for you guys in Tamaqua?
So they were both Hazleton.
You had to go all the way to Hazleton for
Yeah,
a movie.
so-
oh,
So this is why, like, for us anyway, we would normally go to like 48 Hours because it was right in town.
Yeah.
However, going up to Hazleton to go to Hollywood Video or Blockbuster was like a true like treat and an adventure because it was like, oh, you know, even like when they went out of business and stuff, we went and bought some stuff from Blockbuster just because, you know, it
yeah.
was gonna be-
I had the Hollywood video in Pottsville. So every time I went to the bowling at my mom, there was a Hollywood video there. And then we had the Blockbuster in Shenandoah. So like right where the Redner's is in Shenandoah, that was our Blockbuster.
Was that where it was originally? Because there was one.
It was originally by
where
next to
Domino's
Boy.
is now next
Yeah,
to
where
Boyers.
Domino's is, and they moved it up on top there.
Because I used to stop after school all the time.
So while we're talking about locations, I have a question for you. Do you still reference locations when you're giving directions as that's where Blockbuster was?
Yeah.
because I do like the one in Hazleton is where like Little Caesars and stuff is now, and I think there's like a UPS thing. It's across the street pretty much from where like the Blues Brothers bar
Yeah.
or whatever
Where the
used
food
to be,
trucks and stuff
and the
sit.
food trucks and
and
stuff.
the hibachi.
Yeah. So that's where Blockbuster was to me. And we're getting to a point in time where I have
People don't
conversations
know
with
that.
people and they're going to be like,
What the fuck's a Blockbuster?
what are you talking about? Blockbuster was never like,
Well, I don't know what Blockbuster is.
but they were from this area. So it's not like it was like, oh, we're talking
I
to somebody
think that
from,
that parking lot too was a big street racing thing in Hazleton.
it might have been,
Yeah.
but it's gone now.
Yeah. Another kind of old memory of me with Blockbuster is Blockbuster had a special kiosk during a certain time in the N64 era
Mhm.
when you played
I don't
Pokemon
remember that.
Snap.
Yeah.
You would
Yeah.
take your memory card to
Actually,
Blockbuster, and then you put your memory card in this kiosk, and then you can digitally print out your photos you took
Whoa.
during Pokemon Snap.
That's cool.
And Blockbuster was the only one you can do that with.
That's cool. I don't remember the kiosks. I just remember the store.
They didn't last very long. I don't think they went.
So-
I know. I
out.
did. That's in my notes.
you can
so-
get the cards. Like there's a Charmander one on here for $5. They have all the different
Aw.
ones. I don't know if there's anything on them
Yeah.
or anything, but yeah, and then that's what like the back was. So
Interesting.
There's like a lot of dogs outside right now. Sorry, I don't know what's
I
happening.
might have to
Yeah.
get one just because it's Blockbuster though.
Yeah.
Actually, it's funny that these have the chip that we have now on our credit cards.
I know.
That's what I'm
is
saying. I think
weird,
that's
yeah.
I think that's
I know
refashioned.
we have a card somewhere.
I don't
I know
know.
we didn't throw it away.
We have to look.
I know we
I
didn't.
think I never throw away any
You're a
cards.
hoarder.
I probably still have my
know it's here
Blockbuster card
somewhere.
around.
I probably took it and hid it somewhere.
Yeah. There are
They don't
people
get
on
lost.
Etsy you can order cards from, and then you can go on the last Blockbuster store, and you can order T-shirts and stuff. and-
Ooh, I didn't know.
Remember the
And membership
Blockbuster
stuff.
popcorn, like the
Yeah,
actual
the
legit,
bags.
like it was made by Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So somebody has a graded set of 5 of the Pokemon Snap cards. They're all a 9. One's a 9 and the rest are 9.5. How much do you think they want?
10 grand.
No. That's like crazy talk. This is
Oh.
still crazy talk.
I'm just saying it's Pokemon, so it goes high. Let's say
700.
$800.
$9.25
Wow.
and $18 shipping. But they're all graded in the like the plastic cases and stuff.
$925.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What I
You
said.
said 925, like it was 9.
Yeah, like-
No, I got 925.
Yeah.
We were in the hundreds.
No, so you said you're going back to your memories of Blockbuster, like you
Yeah.
said it was special. Like what was that experience? Like what would make you guys go to that Blockbuster and get that movie?
I mean, it was more so of where we were at the time. Like you have to remember at that point in time, Walmart wasn't up the street from
Mhm.
our house. So the closest Walmart was Hazleton.
Yeah.
So going up to Hazleton to go to Walmart or go to the mall, on the way back through, we would stop at Pizza Hut to get pizza and then hop over.
So it was like a huge thing because once you're in
Right.
Hazleton, you can get Blockbuster, you can go and get some pizza, and then go to
to the mall
Walmart.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it was
yeah.
like it was usually a pretty big kind of like
Like a whole day.
day,
Yeah.
essentially.
That's cool.
A big event.
Yeah, and then maybe swing over to Hollywood Video, because they're all kind of like within the same realm of
Do you remember renting a movie more than once?
Emperor's New Groove. I don't know why that one sticks out of anything, but I remember renting that a lot.
I don't think I have a memory of renting a movie more than one time. At any holiday.
No,
So-
I don't remember.
So I was kind of spoiled.
I don't remember renting movies when I was young, like when I lived by that. I think it was Hollywood. I might be wrong. It might be some other small because it was really small. I just remember going and getting candy and popcorn.
So I was kind of spoiled in the whole movie scene for a very, very long time because my best friends growing up owned each of the mom and pop video stores in town. So every time we had a sleepover,
Isn't
we
they
would
own a
just
candy store too?
it was a candy store and
Oh,
a
and
video
a video
store.
store, okay.
Yeah. So we would go get candy, not really pay for anything because it's his grandmother, and then we would get a movie that probably we shouldn't have had, and then go and sometimes sneak behind the curtain.
Whoops.
And yeah, nothing weird about you and your boys growing up
Super weird.
watching a porn, We've all been there, right?
No.
All right. Sorry.
Well, yeah, but it was not fun.
Yeah, it was
Tell you that
weird.
much.
I just remember looking around like, this is fucking strange.
But listen, I will have a warning for any of you, as future generations or past generations or whatever. If somebody says to you after you test out to make sure the disc works, if you want to go see their shot glass collection, say no.
Yeah, so we would rent movies. I remember the first movie we rented that fucked us up is we rented The Faces of Death.
Okay,
Do you know what Faces of Death is?
not entirely. No.
Faces of Death
No.
was a movie where now I think in retrospect, now that it's older, maybe because like people knew, but we were kids, it was essentially snuff. It was like legit films of people dying, or like security camera footage of people dying, or police body cam footage of people like just people just legit dying, like stuff like
They probably got to the store thinking, "Oh, this is just a horror movie."
no, they knew 100% what they were getting because it was like a huge like blacklisted thing, and if you had it, your video store was the shit.
Dang.
There was like 4
I don't
volumes.
remember
So
that.
Blockbuster probably did not have it.
No, they did not.
Yeah.
So the first one we seen was at the very end of the movie. They put a monkey in the middle of a table in another country, and they just trap him up to his head, and they hit it with a hammer, and then they all eat the brains. But he's alive when they're doing it.
Didn't that happen
Why?
to Indiana Jones?
Yeah, but it was on Faces of Death.
Oh.
Yeah, like they went to a butcher shop and showed how like cows and stuff are treated. It was rough. I just remember being young. I'm like, what the fuck are we watching?
Why would you watch it?
Because you're a kid. You
I
got to
would never
consume all
watch
this
that.
weird stuff.
I watched Army of Darkness when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I remember specifically that, but
I just remember going and like, because the grandmother owned it, but then like the older cousin that you work with worked, like he knew like all the inside cool things to get. So he'd be like, get this one, it's real fucked up. And we would get it. And he was like our older liaison, like of like what's cool to see. Like probably our age should have been
but
watching.
now we don't get that because there's no Blockbusters. There's
Yeah.
no rental
Well,
places.
yeah. So anyway, and then when I got old enough to then we having a Blockbuster, I also worked at a pawn shop. So people would just bring movies in that they probably stole from Blockbuster. And I never had to go rent a movie. Then fast forward to starting to date Heidi. If I wasn't getting my movies at Blockbuster, at the pawn shop, we would make our Friday night date adventure would be us going to the Blockbuster in Shenandoah, going through the bargain bin, and buying like 38 movies in one night.
Or renting them, yeah.
I don't think we ever rented.
Yes, we did.
Did we?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
We
I don't
did.
remember
We
renting.
rented
I just
them a
remember
lot.
buying a bunch.
No.
Like
I
that's
feel
how
like we rented a lot too. Like we would like rent a bunch and then like buy one.
we'd rent one and then buy like a bunch. I think that's how it went.
I don't.
Because our movie collection got out of control.
I mean, it's out of control.
It was worse. I actually sold it all, and she got
I
pissed.
got
at me.
really mad.
Yeah, but we would go to Blockbuster and buy like 10 movies and then rent one, and then get a bunch of candy, and then go over to Redner's and get candy. Like it was like how you guys say it was an adventure. It was it was a process.
That was like our every week thing.
Yeah, it was every Friday we'd go to
was
Blockbuster
really
and get a
sad.
movie.
We would spend like 2 hours in there trying to figure out what we wanted to watch, though.
Yeah, or just talking. Like we'd look at a box and talk about it for like an hour. It was like a date almost. Like
we
Yeah.
would go in there for like an hour at least.
And I feel like people now are missing out on
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Like, or if you have one set in your mind, like, oh, I want to watch this new movie that came out, and then you get there, and you're like, oh, they don't have it.
yeah. So what do we have to find now?
you know
Yeah.
what? You know what?
Mhm.
I distinctly remember like Blockbusters had a smell.
Yeah.
They had a smell to them,
Mhm.
and something about walking on carpet was weird too, because everything was carpeted. Like most stores now are like hardwood. I remember, like, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was hardwood, and then when you went to the sections where the movies were, it was carpeted. Or maybe it was just our Blockbuster. I don't remember.
maybe,
I
I
just
don't
remember walking on like a blue carpet or something.
I will say though, the scent. I don't know if it's correct or
I
not.
don't remember.
You can get
smell of
wax melt
places.
things that are Blockbuster scented.
That's funny. It probably just smells like videotapes.
Probably, but
Hmm.
I
Like
just
the
find it
box,
funny
like
that
the boxes, the packages.
Yeah.
I don't really remember smells though. So
It had a smell to it. Definitely had a smell to it. What about you, Heidi? What about what's the, like a Blockbuster moment that stands out for you?
I don't really have a moment. Mine was like right by Boyer's, which was right by the school, and I would walk home from school, and I'll just
I have
stop
a
and watch
Blockbuster
movies
story
by
for us.
myself. I'd go home and watch movies by myself.
I went and pulled the trigger. This is where my trigger of PlayStation comes in handy here. This is why I still always have a disdain for PlayStation. I bought the brand new PlayStation 3. So excited. I'm gonna play the fuck out of this thing. Go home, I plug it in, go to plug it in. You have to wait for an update, an install
Always
update.
updates.
I let it go for 2.5 hours. Finally installs after 2.5 hours. All the updates. I put in Metal Gear Solid 3. Put it in.
That you rented?
No, I bought it.
Oh.
So I said, I'm gonna put this in. We're gonna go to Blockbuster. By the time I get back, I'll be playing this game. I'm so excited for this. We do our Blockbuster once again. We're there 2.5, 3 hours.
We're always there forever.
We're there forever, and the whole time, like, I want to get home. I'm gonna play this fucking game. You know what I mean? Like, all right, get the movies. Cool.
I'm indecisive, so I can't
Yeah,
pick
I'm
a
just
movie.
like, fucking let's go. We're gone 2.5, 3 hours. I get back. This motherfucker's at 72%. We watch a movie.
And you wonder why I hate that games are on a disc like that.
Yeah.
Or digitally or whatever it is.
I've never spent longer waiting for a game to download digitally than I did this PlayStation 3
Yeah, that
to
was
update
insane.
a game. And
You've
install
never
it.
had your wires underground.
Oh. And then I finally get the game, and 90% of it's watching cutscene movies. I was so pissed off. I literally sold it the next day. I was like, I'm getting this out of my.
The Blockbuster.
Yeah, I took it back to the pawn shop. No, it was a nightmare. But that I do remember because that was the night we went to a Blockbuster, and I was like, the whole time like trying to rush you.
Yeah, and you
I
can't
rushed.
rush me.
I rushed to get home to do nothing, and I was so pissed. But Heidi has done some
No.
extensive homework on the
Yeah.
history of
I
Blockbuster.
think I overdid.
Are you
it.
ready for the test?
There's a lot.
Hand over your
No,
notes.
I'm gonna
We're
fail. Someone else want to read them?
We can't read your hand.
We're gonna quiz you.
I-
So after
She gets
this,
1 page of notes.
we're gonna edit it all
Front
and
and
see how
back,
many
though.
questions you get
no.
right. We're gonna pop it up on the screen. If you get it wrong, you're gonna hear buzzers.
If you are watching, let us know some of
Good.
your favorite
Fall
Blockbuster
through
moments, or if
whole
you're watching
block.
back later, make sure you tell us that as well.
Is it? Are you ready for me?
Oh, I was like, who texted me? And then I read the book. The face fucks a flight attendant, and I was like, oh, that was Nikolai.
Oh.
All right, go ahead.
You're welcome.
Okay. Blockbuster.
I completely forgot that you texted me that.
All right. I'm really bad at this, guys. Blockbuster. All right. There's a lot. Okay. There was way more
Yeah.
information than I expected, and I couldn't even process a lot of it. So I tried to skim through it, and I still got like a ridiculous amount of information. The first Blockbuster opened on October 19th, 1985 in Dallas, Texas by David Cook, who was the founder of Cook Data Services, which was a supply software services, something like that. They give their services to oil and gas industries.
Mm.
That was a weird term of events. But his wife, Sandy, wanted to get into the video business. So he used his profits from the sale of his subsidiary, David P. Cook and Associates, to buy into a video store franchise in Dallas known as VideoWorks. When they wouldn't let him redecorate the interior of the store to blue and yellow design, he left and opened the first Blockbuster Video under his own company, Blockbuster Video Inc.
Did it say why he picked the movie, like the name
No.
Blockbuster?
He just
All that work.
oh no, the name. Yeah, the name is because Blockbuster, like in Hollywood, it's like a blockbuster film.
Blockbuster hit.
That was in my notes, but now I'm gonna have to skip it. Thank you.
We're trying to help you.
Okay.
Yeah, but now you're gonna frustrate her because you're skipping ahead and it's
Now
like,
I
wait,
gotta, like,
did I say that?
I
Maybe
already
not.
said
I
it.
don't know.
Okay. When he realized the potential in video rentals, he left the oil industry and began franchising the Blockbuster store.
Can I add something?
Yeah. See, this
He also I'm just helping, but he also left and went into this Blockbuster business because oil prices were actually dropping.
Yeah.
and he wasn't
Mhm.
making the same amount of money, so he wanted he wanted another venture of business.
She's crossing
smart
stuff
man.
out.
No, I actually didn't write that. I was trying to figure out, okay, well, what's more important? Does anybody really care about that?
It's just funny because he started
Oils.
because oil's down, and he's like, I'll get the
Yeah.
movie rental, and now
then it's
oil's
like-
up, and
Now-
movie rent, and now that
Yeah.
business is
See,
gone.
I don't know where to chime in because it's like I know things like
Well, yeah, just chime in if you want to, because then it's less I need to say. Because
so
I'm
like
bad at this.
when video rentals first came out, there was a big lawsuit about that from the studios because they're like that's basically like a copyright infringement essentially. So when they attacked them, they're like, no. At the end of the day, because with a VHS, they wanted like $100 for this VHS because they're like, well, the person can own it. So in their mind, it was like, oh, well, if it's $7 or something, for a movie ticket, you can have like 12 people there for that one price.
Mhm.
And what is yours forever?
Yep.
But it's still like the price of that is insanely.
So
ridiculous.
essentially, what they were saying is that every single person in the United States should have to own their own CD, own their own movie. Like
Yeah.
you shouldn't be able to share your movie with somebody. So essentially, that's what they were telling.
Well, they wanted to make the money for themselves, not have
Yeah.
to
They don't like.
give it to somebody and then only make part
where
of it.
I go to a place and rent a movie for $5 instead of going to buy it for 15, and then
But
so-
then the person, like the owners of the movie, will get only a partial cut of that. Whereas if you bought it outright, they probably get more.
well, they would get more if 15
Yeah.
people bought the movie instead
Right.
of 50 people renting it for the one low
Right.
price
Because
to
they're
one
only going to
person.
get a partial of that low price.
It's almost like a backdoor piracy thing. Where,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like
Uh,
LimeWire.
And I also think one of the agreements that they came up to with that settlement was, and this is what kind of I think put out mom and pop businesses, is where Blockbuster started getting exclusives to certain movies, and then they would have like a set agreement that they would buy so many copies.
So part of what went into that too is where they would share the revenues of it, where like instead of them paying $100 per, they would pay $5, and then they would, whatever the percents were, where the studio would get a percentage of all the rentals, and then this thing
Yeah.
would keep it, where the mom and pops didn't necessarily have the money to be like, I'm going to pay 10 grand for Terminator 2,
Right.
and then still
to
give
make
you
it-
more money.
Right.
Yeah.
To get the
Kind
movies
of
before
like
the
movie
release date.
theaters. Like if you want to open up your own movie theater, you wouldn't be able to get the rights to play Doctor Strange in your tiny little movie theater. You'd have to wait 8 months when it's not popular anymore,
Yeah.
then get that movie. And
Mhm.
that's kind of what mom and pop places had to do. They had to wait
Right.
till it dropped on DVD or VHS, and then when it was able for them, when the licensing things were up, that they were able to put it on their shelves.
Yeah.
And by that time, everyone already had rented it from Blockbuster. Unless your Blockbuster in your town was in Hazleton, and then you didn't want to drive to Hazleton, you would wait for 48-hour video to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But 48 Hours had it every week, like right on the.
Some places they just didn't care, and these
Yeah.
small little areas are like, we're not going to bust people's balls for fucking movies.
But also, this was like, for us, it was DVD time, not VHS, where
Yeah.
it was $100.
Mm.
Yeah. Good.
Okay. Blockbuster would custom tailor their stores' inventories based on the local demographics of the neighborhood, which I thought was pretty like inventive, I guess,
Yeah.
for that time.
So, like, if you're in an urban neighborhood, you would get more movies that would cater to that demographic.
Yes.
Sure.
Like if fucking White Man Can't Jump came out, like that would be a hit. That wouldn't be a huge hit in Alabama. They're not gonna care about that. Like
Okay.
Dukes of Hazzard
Oh.
season 2 is gonna go crazy there.
Yeah.
Smart.
Okay.
Also, I have another fact. I don't know if it's on your notes though.
What?
This is
She
for you
did
to-
all this.
this is
prep.
for
I
you
did
to-
all of this work.
This is also for
And
you to
we're
read ahead
stealing
while
it.
we're talking, so you have time to be
I'm-
prepared.
I am.
All right, go ahead. You read then.
No, tell me or no.
Another thing that put local businesses out of tell because a lot of local businesses couldn't keep the inventory that Blockbuster could. So
Yeah.
Blockbuster was one of the first places that had a digital inventory that you can scan a movie and then keep track of what time it went out, what time it came back. And a lot of video stores didn't have that at first, so they were only able to maybe have 100 to 200 movies in their store, where Blockbuster can have thousands
Because they
Mm.
computerized everything.
because they
Yeah.
computerized
I
everything.
didn't really write about. I just did kind of like the history.
Yeah.
Oh, well then, if we're on the talk
Oh.
of computers, so that
Go
because
ahead.
if you didn't do computer stuff,
No, I didn't really.
all right. So the last Blockbuster still uses the same damn computer. They get
Oh yeah.
when they
remember that.
cancel or close Blockbusters, they send them their faulty computers so they have parts.
Mhm.
Why
I
don't you
remember
just
that in the
upgrade?
show.
Like they talk about.
Because they want to
telling
keep it the
these-
same.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that, but I'm sure you could.
or they don't want to spend
keep
the money
the-
because they know that.
I'm sure though you could keep the shell and have somebody redo the inside where it
Yeah.
you don't need a floppy disk.
I remember that in the show. She's like
Yeah.
trying to clean it out.
Yeah, she's like, I can't do anything now. My hands are filthy, and I go to tell these kids to go get a floppy disk, and they're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can upgrade that part.
And that
like,
inventory system bankrupt mom and pop video stores.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
where she's
I mean, the
now
ones that they didn't buy out.
yeah, the ones
Yeah.
that they didn't buy, like that one was kind of like that inventory system was like the state of the art thing that
Yeah.
killed movie rental places.
Blockbuster was like the mob,
They were.
according to that documentary. They just came in there like, you want to become a Blockbuster? No? All right, we're gonna put
I don't
one
think
down the street.
everybody was part of Blockbuster. It's crazy.
Well, one of the guys who was part of the Blockbuster deal too that helped fund the thing was also a garbage guy. He was
Yeah.
he
That's
was in
where
waste.
I was going next.
He was in the waste, and if a white dude
There's
was
a
in,
mob.
he was a mobster. If he was
Was
doing,
he?
if he was, oh, if a guy
That's
was
usually
doing,
where they came from.
if he was doing trash, like he
That's
was a
what they
part
did
of
in The Godfather, right?
Yeah, that's a front.
One of I think it was The Godfather. Anyway, so in 1987, Waste Management co-founder Wayne, I don't know how
Mob.
to say this,
Wayne Brady.
Huenzenga
Mob. He's
agreed
Italian.
to acquire several Blockbuster stores after having reservations about entering the video rental industry.
Page 1 of 20 is done.
At that time, there were 19 stores, which attracted the attention of Huenzenga's associate, John Meek. They all have weird names, by the way. Most of them have weird names, and I can't pronounce them. They used techniques from their waste business and Ray Kroc's model of expansion to
Yeah.
rapidly expand Blockbuster. I don't
So,
like.
do you
but
know
I
who
didn't
Ray
who he
Kroc
was.
is?
He was like a business.
Yeah, but
guy,
he made McDonald's what McDonald's is to
Oh,
us.
okay. All right.
And there's a whole movie on him. I forget what it's called though, but Michael Keaton plays him.
Oh, the founder.
Yeah, the
cool.
founder. Yeah, so
That's cool. They took over many of the existing stores, and Huizenga spent most of the late 80s acquiring several rivals, including Major Video. So they just kept like buying up all these other. They probably bought Hollywood. Who knows? But they were all ones that I've never heard of. So they
Yeah.
must not have been around here.
well, that's like how like FYE bought up like Coconuts and things like that. Where yeah, it was like a video store or like
Oh, okay.
Suncoast and stuff where it was like
Oh, what
smaller
was that?
things.
There was a movie store,
Suncoast,
I don't know, something like that.
or is it?
Wasn't
Are you talking rental place?
Yeah,
Oh, I don't know about rental place.
I feel like there was. Not West Coast Video. There was. I thought there was one with like a sunny name, something like that. In 1989, Nintendo tried to halt Blockbuster's ability to rent video games. They ultimately lost, which paved the way for future video game rentals. So they like tried really hard to like stop them, and they
Nintendo.
Interesting.
lost.
Because Nintendo was like, yo, fuckers, like once again, you're killing our game
Yeah.
industry. Because instead of people buying it, they'll just go rent it from you. And then Blockbuster actually, and if reality, sure, people can go do that, but
But then they're gonna buy it if they like it.
not just that. If you go to the video store and you're like, I can never get this fucking game, guess what you're gonna do?
You're gonna go buy
You're
it.
gonna go buy it.
Yeah, oh well, that too.
You're making more of a demand for it.
Yeah.
Some Blockbusters would actually rent systems.
Oh yeah, I saw the
Oh,
cases
yeah, I
online,
remember
like
that.
for the PlayStation 2 and stuff. You can get them for like $100 on eBay, like the actual case that they rent.
And
you
I
out.
believe
Didn't they have like control? You could like buy controllers and stuff, parts and stuff like that.
maybe,
too?
but I could be wrong with this. If anyone in the chat or later on remembers this too, I believe that Blockbuster had a special agreement with Nintendo that one of the systems was only a Blockbuster exclusive system rental.
I don't know.
I feel
That's
like
not in. I don't have
that
anything
might
about
have
that.
been because like with the Snap one, like with Pokemon Snap, that was the only place you could go take those cards.
Yeah.
So it's not
Maybe
like,
they did. I didn't see anything. That was the only mention of Nintendo that I
Yeah.
found.
Hmm.
So, but maybe they did. I don't know. Okay. So in 1990, Blockbuster bought Mid-Atlantic rivals Errol's, which had more than 250 stores. So I guess they're like making their way across the country. In 1992, they acquired the Sound Warehouse and Music Plus music rental retail chains and created Blockbuster Music. In October of 93, Blockbuster took control interest in Spelling Entertainment Group, which was a media company run by TV producer Aaron Spelling. So they had like their foot in everything.
yeah.
Like I didn't realize how many people or like how many different things they were like.
So this is
Involved
a
in.
rental case.
Yeah. It's this is like a
Wow.
briefcase.
Yeah, and
Essentially.
they would
That's
slap a
crazy.
PlayStation
And
2
there's
stick.
foam and stuff inside.
I don't remember seeing. I remember seeing like
I don't think our stores did it.
yeah, but I remember seeing like they had controllers. I thought or like used stuff. I thought that you could buy. Okay, in November of 93, they purchased Super Club Rental Entertainment Corporation from Philips Electronics for 5.2 million shares of Blockbuster stock, which I don't really know how much that equates to, but it sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
$15.99 for the console and $6 for the game, and you can keep it for a week.
That's not bad at all.
Well,
That's a
back
great
then-
deal.
Is that like back then time?
Mhm.
Okay.
It's
well,
like
Still, though.
90, 95.
That's probably like
96.
what, $40-$50 for the week? Now?
probably, yeah.
Like total?
At least.
Plop down $20 and get a system, and so in 96 they moved it to $20 for a system and 3 games and keep it for a couple days.
See?
Yeah.
That don't sound pretty bad. Where are these Blockbusters at now? Oregon.
Just one.
Oregon. Okay, so this brought approximately 270. I've never heard of these places. I'm just assuming that they're all like music type stores. So it's Record Bar, Tracks, Turtles and Rhythm, and Views retail superstores into the corporation. It also owned 35% of the Republic Pictures, which merged with Spelling in April of 94. So he was huge. Aaron Spelling
Yeah.
was huge in the 90s. So I didn't know they had any parts of this. Hold on. Sorry.
If you need a break, I can throw another fact
No.
out there.
I just made my note and then I don't remember why I wrote this. So in 94, that Huizenga sold Blockbuster to Viacom and pulled out because he was worried that the technology that's new technology would threaten their business. So he invested.
So is Viacom
Yeah.
Dish?
They become
Viacom.
Dish,
That's like
Yeah, I know they
Paramount
become
now
Dish,
and
but-
like MTV.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he like pulled out of Blockbuster. He sold it to Viacom, pulled out, and then invested in Viacom.
Yeah.
And then Viacom paid $8.4 billion, which helped finance his bid for Paramount in the bidding war with QVC Network. Which Paramount, like, oh,
Wow.
yeah. And then the Blockbuster stocks has been dropping steadily before the merger, and then they had a small rise when the deal was announced. But later, by the later part of the decade, its worth was estimated to have fallen to 4.6 billion. So he
So-
paid 8.4, and then it dropped to 6.
Like right now, I don't know if
Or 4.6, I
Blockbuster
mean.
has stock, but I bet you it's pretty damn low.
Oh, it's probably
Yeah.
nothing.
What would
Probably nothing right
happen if like we all just bought some Blockbuster stock and then because of nostalgia kicking in,
just sit on
they
it.
just pop up
Yeah.
everywhere and you become a millionaire overnight?
They might.
I feel
Should.
like
Yeah, like
I feel like
Probably
there's
like
a
pennies
way.
right now.
yeah,
I feel like there's a way to bring it back and people would care.
yeah.
Like I think that it has
Just
to
like
be,
the record stores.
it has
Yeah.
to be done a certain way, but I don't think it would ever be as big as it was.
No,
But I definitely
feel
think
like
there's
it could
still a
come
need
back.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would rather instead of like I was saying to my brother in the car, like I rented or not rented. I did Showtime for like a month and a half just to watch the new season of Dexter. I'm not watching anything else on Showtime.
Right.
I
You
would
could just
rather
rent
go
it and
to a rental place,
Yeah.
get it, and be done.
Here's what this is where it would be tricky though, because you can subscribe to Showtime for $10 a month
Mhm.
and get the access to thousands of shows.
Sure, and then forget about it,
and then you're paying for it every month and never
and
use
then
it.
it becomes.
Well, how many people you subscribe to a Blockbuster? Oh, yeah.
Did you pay to subscribe to Blockbuster?
No, but that's probably
Okay.
the
Mm.
right it would have to go
Yeah.
because it just
Why?
anyway, that's what
Probably
everyone does.
they would
But
do.
before Cook actually sold it, they actually had really big plans for Blockbuster. They were going to make an amusement park in Florida.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he eventually, before he turned the company over, he actually was going to make a Blockbuster in Florida, and it was the Blockbuster Party in Albuquerque, New Mexico. 60,000 square feet, an adult amusement park featuring laser tag mazes and motion simulators, and then referred to it as miniature Disneyland on steroids. But the concept never caught on. Imagine that, the Blockbuster
Yeah. My
theme park.
brother was
Pretty
telling
sure
me about
that's
it,
why I skipped it. 'cause
and
it
I was
wasn't
like,
there.
"What would
It
that be
wasn't.
like?
It didn't amount to anything.
Like almost like Honey I Shrunk the
Yeah.
Kids,
You
where it's
climb
like
the
giant, like
shelves.
Blockbuster
Yeah.
things everywhere."
That would be fun though.
There are
Yeah.
places, side tangent, while Heidi gets prepared for her next.
I'm
stop it.
fine. You keep interrupting me.
I'm trying to, so you're not the main focal. We're trying to
Go-
help you out
Go
here
ahead.
because you're like, I don't want to read it all and be the only one talking.
No, I just didn't want to miss things, but you keep interrupting. Go ahead.
Go ahead, talk.
Tell us what you
Read
were gonna
all
say.
9 pages and we won't interrupt you.
I skipped certain things for a reason, and you're telling me about them all.
That's what we're trying to help you.
Okay. During the 90s, Blockbuster expanded in the United Kingdom, purchasing their company's Ritz video chain and rebranded it to Blockbuster. That's the only thing I wrote about.
Like an
country.
international.
Yeah, because there wasn't a lot. There's like little things here. Basically, that they bought everybody out and
Right.
went from there. In June of 97, Taco Bell president John Antioco resigned from the company to become CEO of Blockbuster. They got this guy came from Taco Bell. Then there's another one that came from
7-Eleven and stuff. Yeah.
like Waste Management. That's pretty big. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that I ever left Waste Management like 100%.
I don't think
but
he ever
they're
did.
pretty big
Just-
now still because that's who does our
Yeah.
garbage.
Their symbols are all over every.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They throw it in the
garbage
ocean.
tray.
Yeah, they do just pile it up. Warner Brothers offered him an exclusive rental deal to have rights to rent new DVD releases for a period of time before they went on sale to the general public. Studio would receive 40% of the revenues, but Blockbuster turned it down. The studio responded by lowering the DVD wholesale price in order to compete with the rental industry. Walmart seized the opportunity and in a few years surpassed Blockbuster as the studio's single largest source of revenue.
And that's one of many horrible decisions that the CEO
Yeah.
of Blockbuster
Uh-huh.
made.
Yeah.
Well,
That-
CEOs.
Yeah, the
CEOs,
CEO.
yeah.
So literally, they could have been like, wait. So once again, we live in a world where this is common practice.
Yeah.
You want to watch this new movie before it hits theaters? Subscribe to our service. They could have literally had all WB movies before anyone else, and they're
Yeah.
like,
Well, they
Fuck
also
you.
could have had Netflix.
Yeah, that's
We're
coming-
getting there, yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're insane. Like, and that was one of the things that it said too. Like basically their demise was just bad. Like
old people thinking that nothing's gonna change.
people just didn't.
Yeah.
They weren't smart.
And
like
then
bad
being like,
businessmen.
oh,
they didn't know.
we need to now fix this. How do we like
There is no
stay in
way.
business
no way
at
to
the
fix
same
it.
like rate as these other things?
Yeah. They were literally the first company for our generation that literally just got steamrolled by technology.
Mhm.
And they were just so like, this ain't gonna work. It's not
Well,
gonna
they
work.
tried to they just kept trying to do their own thing, and it just none of it worked.
Then they tried to do similar things, and everyone was like, "Fuck you! Like you had your chance."
It's not, or it was too much or too expensive or
It,
something like
yeah, it
that.
killed them
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah. So other retailers soon followed suit, and unable to match prices, Blockbuster's business model severely impacted. So this is like the beginning of just
Mhm.
decline. In '98, Blockbuster launched a loyalty program, Blockbuster Rewards, which I don't really remember rewards. Do you?
They never
I've-
offered it to us.
I've seen the cards floating around on
I don't remember.
eBay,
Yeah.
but I've not actually seen it.
So it allowed customers to earn free rentals. The chain went nationwide with this in 1999. The same year, Viacom sold the Blockbuster music chain to.
I wasn't renting movies in '99.
I don't think I was either. It was like 2000s when I
Yeah.
started. Yeah. They sold the Blockbuster music chain, which I didn't know they had that either,
I was getting it free from
to-
a pawn shop at this time.
to Warehouse Entertainment, which was subsequently purchased by Trans World Entertainment in 2003.
Trans World.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Right. It's like everybody. I didn't even know they were this involved with everybody. Like
Yeah.
I was just like, Blockbuster is Blockbuster. Okay. In mid 2000, the year 2000. That sounded weird to me when I was reading it. I don't know why. The company partnered with Enron in an attempt to create a video on demand service.
There's your next mistake.
It was supposed
Does
to
anyone
last
remember Enron?
vaguely, barely.
I remember the name.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember the
They
name.
did a backdoor scheme, and all their investors stole all their stocks and fucking tanked the
Okay.
entire company.
Well, so they partnered with them, right? And then it said it was supposed to last 20 years, but Enron terminated the deal in March of 2001 for fear that Blockbuster would not be able to provide sufficient films for the service. So Enron backed out.
Yeah, because they're like,
They're like,
we can't
"We
take
can't do
everybody
this."
down.
Yeah. Also in 2000, Blockbuster turned down a chance to purchase fledgling Netflix for $50 million.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Even if you bought it, like we were having this argument earlier today, like if I was Blockbuster, I would have bought it and then buried it.
Yeah, then Blockbuster would probably still be here.
I mean, not necessarily.
Well,
I mean, they
probably
made some
not,
bad
but
choices.
Yeah.
Or instead of us turning our Netflix on it, instead of
It
saying
would say
Netflix, it was like
Blockbuster.
Blockbuster.
But see,
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's like you could bury Netflix for a while until
And
your
then-
video rentals start to flounder a little
Yeah.
bit, and you're like, oh, rental service.
Yeah. They made a big
Enron
mistake.
and had pretty much financial fraud committed by high-ranking executives, and many of the executives have been charged with wire fraud, money laundering, securities fraud, mail fraud, and conspiracy.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I knew the name, but I couldn't remember.
Yeah,
what
they were
exactly
part
it
of a
was.
huge scandal.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a bad business partner.
Yeah, Blockbuster wasn't so. They were so good. At its peak in 2004, they had more than 9,000 stores worldwide. So I didn't realize they were worldwide either.
Yeah, I
thought it
didn't
was
either.
Here, but they were everywhere. I think they had one Portugal, United Kingdom, everywhere. In 2005, they promoted no more late fees policy,
That's also what
Mhm.
majorly
Which-
killed them.
which more than 40 states filed suits against the company for false advertisement because they were actually charging you full price when it was late.
So I talked about this with my brother. This has nothing to do with the history of it. A way around, if they were to do that now, were to keep no late fees, you could do it. But if it's over a month that you have it, we consider it you own it.
Yeah,
You're never
I think there was,
returning it.
8 days.
So you are
yeah,
being charged X amount of money
yeah.
for it just because it's
Yeah.
yours.
I think it was originally 8 days if you didn't bring it back.
Yeah.
And
They
it's
were
crazy
charging you full price.
Because in
Yeah.
2000, so they did this in what 2004.
Four.
In the year 2000, they
Or
made
2005.
$800 million in late fees
Yeah.
alone.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And to overnight be like, no, we're not doing that.
We're just gonna get rid of our money.
Yeah. Like what?
Throw it away.
We're worth a couple billion.
Yeah.
We're doing just fine.
Well, then they later settled the suit and agreeing to refunds and promising to better explain their policy because they were just upcharging everybody
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now the bank industry does that with overdraft fees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have enough money? Oh, we'll cover it, but then we're going to charge you extra money.
Yeah. Oh, you don't have enough money? Oh, we won't decline your card. We'll
We'll
just
just
give
let you
the-
overdraft.
We'll let you overdraft and then charge you a fee for doing it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for
The,
everyone.
the bank also loves to do it. It's like, oh, you didn't put money in? Oh, we're going to be taking some of that out of your account. It's
Yeah.
like, why?
Yeah, you need to have like a minimum.
It's a service charge.
deposit. It's like it's crazy.
You
Yeah,
need to
that's
have-
why I don't believe in banks.
I wish
Fuck
I
'em.
didn't have to have a bank.
Sorry, internet. If I could have all my money under the mattress, I would.
Me too. Me too. I would. Okay. In 2007, they introduced Total Access as a strategy against Netflix. I like vaguely remember.
I do this. It was literally an app you would do or like a program you would go to. Finish it. Just make sure I'm on the right one.
Oh, I just said through Blockbuster Online, customers could rent a video or DVD online and receive a new movie for free when they returned it to the store. I don't remember doing that.
I do
doing
remember them
Netflix.
saying that it was almost like a service where they will mail you a movie
Mhm.
instead of going to the store.
Yeah, but it said like you rent a movie and then they'll send you a free movie once you return it. Like I don't know, it just sounds weird. It says there was a major success, but each free movie cost the company $2, which doesn't sound like a lot, but I guess it adds up.
Adds
Oh
up.
yeah. Over.
Mhm.
But they
Yeah.
hoped it would attract enough new subscribers to cover the loss. Netflix felt threatened, so the CEO approached Antioco, which is the new guy, with suggestion to buy Blockbuster Online. Before the deal could be realized, the board member Carl Icahn, they all have weird names. Icahn intervened, refusing to let the company lose more money through Total Access. And then in July, Antico was pushed out and replaced by James Keyes, who rejected the deal and raised the prices of online rentals and ended the free movie deal. And he was the former president and CEO of 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Because he was brought in
Yeah.
to try to like bring things around. Because
Yeah,
he turned 7-Eleven around.
That the Antico guy got a $24.7 million severance package. And there was some whole like thing. I didn't want to put a lot into it because it's not really anything about Blockbuster, but there's a whole thing about how much he was getting paid. Like
To not even work there.
like no, before, like I guess to be working there, like they were saying he was getting paid too much, and then that's how much his severance package was.
That's how corporate America is now.
Yeah.
Like, oh, cool. You want to be an executive and pretty much not know what you're doing and fuck. All right, we'll give you a couple $1 billion in your fucking salary, or a couple $1 million in your
and then
salary,
not do anything.
and then someone working the register who actually is the lifeblood of your company is getting paid like $3 an hour.
Right, the people like in the store,
Mhm.
not-
Who are literally the ones keeping you alive because they're personable and they're making
Right. Yeah.
customers come back.
You know, I hope that last Blockbuster, they are being paid
Oh, I
ridiculous
hope
amount
so
of money because
too.
they're the only ones keeping that.
But you
brand
know what?
alive.
They're probably not because they're
No,
not.
probably not,
They're
no.
not.
Don't they own?
They own
No.
the rights.
They own that. They own the rights
They
to.
they
the
have
name.
to pay. I think.
Yeah,
to
they have
it.
license agreements
Yeah.
that
With
end every
Dish.
like 4 years or whatever
Yeah.
that they have to keep negotiating. So
but they're not like
they can pull the plug and say you're not allowed to be Blockbuster anymore at any time.
right.
Yeah.
Then they would just be gone.
And I honestly, personally think if they were to turn around and just be like, we're the last video rental service, or like, I still think people would support them.
Yeah.
After, like, I think this strategy of them being the last Blockbuster, eventually, once Blockbuster's like, we're done, we're out of here, they'll be like, we're fine, just go away. Like, I think if they just said we're the last video stream service, or like, there's enough hype around that place that
Yeah.
people would still do.
Well,
Sure.
Blockbuster is done. Like they're on their own pretty much.
Yeah, I think there's
Yeah.
another one in.
No, they shut everyone
Isn't
down.
another one in Australia or something like
No,
that?
that one just closed. Or like 19. That's in my notes.
Yeah.
So in August of 2007, Blockbuster acquired MovieLink for $6.6 million, forecasting a shift to streaming video. At the beginning of 2010, they had over 6,500 stores, of which 4,000 were in the US, which fell to 3,425 by October. Like that's bad. Like they're just going downhill at this point. In US, they plan to close between 810 and 960
What
stores.
year is this?
2010. Between 810 and 960 stores, and instead launch as many as 10,000 Blockbuster Express video rental kiosks by the middle of 2010. So I don't remember those either. I don't think we had any of those around here.
Yeah.
It's been claimed.
So real quick, and also in 2010, just to kind of compare them side by side, in 2010, Netflix introduces a streaming-only plan that offered unlimited streaming service but no DVDs. This is where we jumped into the Netflix
We were doing it before that. We were renting, like getting the DVD.
We were getting them sent, but then when this streaming thing came out, that's when we were day one Netflix streamers. Like we started with stream because that's when it was like, all these movies are dog shit, but we love it.
Yeah, like the B-rate movies.
So at this time when they're making these moves, I just wanted to kind of put in comparison where Netflix was. So Netflix was a streaming, but they had a streaming service that you can buy, but no DVDs. They extended beyond the United States, offering streaming only in Canada in 2010, in Latin America, and the Caribbean in 2011. So let's see here. So here's a list of movies at that time that were on TV shows and movies that were on the Netflix. That just can't be right. I don't remember it being this good.
There was a lot of stuff on there, but they also had like a lot of like hidden gems.
There's no way Shutter Island and all that. No, that's not right. Let's stop that list right now.
Was that even
Where
2010?
2010?
Yeah.
That might be.
It was out in 2010, but I don't think it was on Netflix streaming in 2010.
Oh, I don't know about that.
No, because back then it took a while before they got anything big, right?
Yeah, this is just saying movies in 2010 that are on Netflix right now that you can watch. That wasn't like on what I was trying to see, like what was on their streaming service, but that's not showing.
Yeah, Shutter Island came out in 2010.
Yeah, it came out in
It
2010.
definitely didn't go
it
to
definitely
Netflix right
wasn't
away.
on. Yeah,
Yeah, because Netflix is like behind getting stuff right away.
you're good. Go ahead.
Anyway, so it was been claimed that more than 43 million U.S. households had Blockbuster memberships. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's such a
Yeah.
high number. In March of 2010, they began additional daily rates, which was already used in other countries.
Also, sorry to cut you off again. Also in 2002, red boxes were starting to pop up
Oh yeah, Redbox.
where you
I
can
feel
go.
like we did
I don't
Redbox
think I
like
ever
once.
used Redbox.
I didn't use them
We did it like one time, and that was it.
because to me, a red box when they first started, and you can go like get them at like your local grocery store when you first walk in, or stuff
Yeah.
like a Redner's or IGA. I felt like the scumbags who destroyed movies in Blockbuster were the ones who then switched over because they were just savages with their everything else. You know what I mean? Like,
And they didn't have to like go to an actual person.
yeah, and they're just
to
be like, this movie
Yeah.
was chewed apart. They just
Yeah.
fucking stick it in
and
and
no
be
one's
like,
there to look at it quick when you
Yeah.
Or put the wrong movie in. with the
Yes.
case.
I'll say with Redbox, they definitely made a mistake when they made like it available to have like Xbox One and PlayStation 4 to rent it for $3 and then not telling people that they need to install the game and everything else and make sure it's all updated.
yeah.
You have less time to play that game than when you paid for.
Yeah. Well, actually, real quick,
Redbox is still around though.
Redbox was founded
Yeah.
in 2002, but it came out and started going out in 2004. So just another visual thing to remind you of where Blockbuster
Yeah.
is now in our timeline, where Netflix is, and now
Redbox
we're
is still going though. There's one by Redner's.
Yeah.
yeah.
one
There's
in
still
Walmart.
There's
One
red
in-
boxes and there's
Turkey
variants.
Hill.
Isn't there one in our Walmart?
Yeah,
or
there's
something?
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's red boxes in Walmarts, and there's still
Turkey
variants
Hills,
of
Redner's.
red boxes. Like ours isn't a red box here. I don't think at Boyer's, but it's like a variant red box.
Are you sure?
I don't think it's actually termed red
I
box.
forgot there was one in there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then they started doing video games, and they're like, oh, we're gonna get out of this game, and they
Mhm.
stopped doing it.
Mm-hmm.
On March 17th, 2010, Blockbuster issued a bankruptcy warning after continued drops in revenue threatened its ability to service its nearly $1 billion debt load. Sorry. They're like hugely in debt. By April 1st of 2010, Carl Icahn had resigned from the board of directors and sold nearly all of its remaining Blockbuster stock, all of his remaining Blockbuster stock. Blockbuster paired with Time Warner to have Warner Brothers movies made available in Blockbuster stores on the DVD release date and not be subject to a 4-week delay. See, I feel like that's the only thing that they had going at that time, where they got the movies faster than anyone else. They didn't have to wait.
Yeah.
Similar agreements were also made with Universal and 20th Century Fox. This was like a last
But
effort to like,
Also, too, it's
they-
like at this point in time, Walmart had them. and
Yeah.
most of them were open 24 hours. So, like the local places, if they had this agreement where they had to wait, could just go to Walmart, buy a couple copies.
and then put
and then
them in
have
stores.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like this was the last effort to stay relevant, and it didn't really
Yeah.
work.
Yeah,
On
every
September-
essentially it comes down to what is cheaper
Mhm.
and what is easier for a person.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's like
More convenient. Yeah.
more convenient. So like when you go to a store, you're like, oh, I'm gonna rent a movie, and then life gets busy and everything gets crazy, and at the time you're probably in a situation where people are working like 12-hour fucking jobs, and then you're like, oh, on top of living my life, I have to go make sure I drive back to fucking Blockbuster to
or
put my
miss the
movie back.
hours because I know.
Are they not open, or
Yeah.
you got to put it in a fucking
Mhm.
slot by a certain
Yeah.
time?
Well, that's
'Cause-
not. Yeah, I feel like, but like there's times where like, because I know we would go to Walmart a lot in the middle of the night and be like, oh, let's go get a movie or something.
yeah, and
Yeah.
like I said, you go walk into a place 24 hours a day and be like, oh, I can go to Walmart and buy a movie, or there's a Redbox when I walk in there, or I can just turn on Netflix, because now
Yeah.
we're what, 2000 what?
Okay.
2010.
2010.
Now that's not possible. We're slowly moving to where Walmart don't give a shit.
Yeah, Walmart.
FYE doesn't care
Slack.
anymore.
Oh, yeah.
The one in Allentown got rid of all their movies. All they're having is new releases. It's all going to be trend.
What's that?
FYE.
Wow.
FOE is
Yeah,
100%
they
a trend store.
scraped off music and movies off their sign out front.
Yeah, it's a trend store. It's a hot topic.
Yeah.
FYE.
Yeah.
Well, we seen that coming when FYE was at the Frackfurt
No, I
Mall.
know, but like this is a whole new ball game of
Yeah.
we're physically not having them. You can't even order them in anymore.
Well, I
Yeah.
feel like all of the streaming services are just killing everyone.
Yeah, street.
There's no need to
you
leave your
literally-
house and go to a
You
store.
literally
to
just
buy a
type it in and
movie.
be like, oh, if I can't watch it on this service, I can just
Yeah.
digitally download it, or I can go to Walmart and it's there.
Yeah.
Like Walmart still puts movies and like music.
They're
out.
getting smaller though
Not
too.
so much music. Music itself is like, honestly, the only form of music that I feel like people are buying now are vinyl, and they're only doing it to own the vinyl. Like it's cool to own a vinyl. Like, and no, I don't see anyone buying CDs.
I buy them.
Really?
Yeah,
I'll buy the
CDs all time.
CD and the vinyl. I'll do like a couple
Phew.
of different things.
No way.
I don't.
I don't even care if
No, that's
you
how
couldn't
you know.
hand me a CD right now.
Well, that's how you know I actually support it because I have
Yeah.
Apple Music where I can download all the stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if I really like it or want to support that person, I go buy the.
I'll buy like an independent person's CD.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that too.
But like,
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of cars don't even have CD players.
I don't.
anymore.
yeah,
anymore.
you can't even put a CD.
I
in.
don't
Yeah, Best Buy
necessarily
doesn't
use
have
them
anymore.
but I own them.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I feel like that's how a lot of people now are buying vinyls, and I feel like a lot of them are like younger people who don't even know
Yeah. Well,
like
most
records,
of
but
them
they're doing it because it's like
come
in. It's
with
cool.
a digital copy.
Yeah.
So it's like
Mhm.
I own this, but I don't need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a wall mount at this point.
Yeah.
You're like, cool, I own
I mean,
a
the
vinyl
art's
record.
cool most times.
Yeah.
But the records are nice.
Yeah,
They're
so
kind of-
2010, I'm shocked they even made it this long. I thought by 2010 they were dead and gone.
Yeah. Well, on September 23rd, 2010, Blockbuster filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
I remember reading it and everyone's like, wow, it took this long.
Yeah. Because I feel like at that point they were just so everyone was just
And
streaming.
then we went, let's go to Blockbuster and buy all the movies they're selling because they were cheap at that time.
Yeah.
We fucking loaded up.
Yeah.
At that time they said that they would keep 3,300 stores open. However, that December they announced that they would close an additional 182 stores by the end of April 2011.
I believe the one in Shenandoah was still relatively doing well.
I don't remember. There was two. Well, there was the one in Shenandoah, and then there's the one on the Gold Star by Redner's.
The one on Redner's, because I believe
I
by
think the
that
other
time
one
the one,
closed,
the
and
other
then
one
they-
shut down. Yeah,
yeah.
because then they had them too close. So like that one's gone. We're keeping the one up at Redner's because the brand
Maybe
new
that's
building.
why they closed it. They just went to the bigger building
I think that's what they did.
because then that one became like Domino's.
Yeah,
Um,
it was a Rent-A-Center, I believe, and then it became a Domino's.
no, I don't think it was a Rent-A-Center.
It was like a
Rent-A-Center
rent.
was in town.
I know, but they had a little rental place there for a while too. It wasn't like an actual rental. It was like a generic one.
That Magic that's in Shenandoah now and then moved into Blockbuster after Verizon left.
Yeah,
Okay, on April 16th of 2010.
I applied for them real fast.
Oh,
I applied for
Magic,
them.
yeah.
This Magic,
Blockbuster.
and they made me drive 2.5 hours to meet the boss.
Yeah.
I drive 2.5 hours in a fucking blizzard to meet this boss. And I called him like, dude, it's really bad storm. Are you sure you want me to come? Please come up. We'll get the interview done. I drive all the way up there. This cocksucker wasn't there.
Yeah.
He no-showed me.
Yeah.
So then he asked me to come up and drive again there.
And you're like, no.
I drive up again. Something just came up. He told me he can't make it. I said, you realize I just drove up 4 hours now, 2 hours up and like twice now, 2 hours
Yeah.
up, 2 hours back for your interview for like a manager position. And he's like, yeah. I was like, all right. So he calls me and he goes, I'm very, very sorry. Where can I meet you? I Google addressed what is near us. Like, so for where he was, for him to drive to Hazleton, Humboldt by that, man, because at the time I was still working in Humboldt, it was like a 3.5 hour drive. I told him to meet me at Humboldt Tap, the bar, the beer place, for 4 o'clock. I wasn't even working that day. I wasn't even near Humboldt. And he drove up fucking was in the
showed him.
Yep.
dude. He called me and he's like, "Hey, I'm at Humboldt Tap. Where you at? What time are you getting here?" I go, "Oh, I'm not coming. I'm glad you wasted your gas money now too," and hung up. Got him.
Except corporate probably pays for his gas.
Yeah, fuck it. He wasted his
He
time.
His time, yeah.
Wasted his
And
time.
where's that company now?
In the old Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, is it still around?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they sell
They're like a
rental
generic
furniture and
rent a
stuff.
center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was so pissed. He did it to me twice.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. I wouldn't have let him do it more than once, though.
Yeah. I wouldn't-
I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be a manager." Huh. Third time, I was like, "Yeah, meet me here." I was like, I had no intention of going.
I tell people no when I'm being paid.
That's too far.
I had
Sure.
somebody, so I do like these ads where they send me like merchandise and stuff, and then I have to like do videos. Well, they were like, this one's gonna be a big one. You're gonna pay $200 to do this, and you have to make 10 like 30-second videos, right? They turn around, they see them, they're like, the videos were great, but we need you to redo them with different backgrounds and different clothes in every video. But the video, but I'm not getting paid anymore. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I flat out told them no. I
Yeah.
was like, it's not worth my time.
To do it again. Yeah.
And I broke it all down
We
for them.
stayed up until like what 6 in the morning to get
Yeah.
it all filmed and everything else. And hearing that was like, I would never want to work.
I
with
have
them
not
again.
got a job back from them since then, but I was like, that's not worth it.
Yeah.
Like I gave them a big thing. I was like, listen, if you would have told me ahead of time, that'd be perfectly fine.
Right.
You
Like
know,
that's what you wanted.
Notes are fine too, but basically being like, we
Redo
need
it
you
all.
to redo 10 videos for the same price. No, I'm done.
Right.
Not even like you can keep one, but do like keep a couple of them and then just change a couple
Sure.
later on. But no, that's a slap in the face. They had to redo the
Mhm.
whole thing.
But we loved them.
Well, obviously it wasn't what you wanted. Why didn't you just tell me that in the first place?
Right. Or give better
Like,
instructions.
Yeah.
Or just send one as a test one so we know
Yeah.
what we're looking at.
Right.
So we can give you notes.
That's silly.
All right.
Anyway, back to Blockbuster.
Yeah.
I'm almost done.
Cool.
Okay. So on April 6, 2011, Dish won the auction to buy Blockbuster for $320 million. I
I wonder how much Blockbuster is worth now. Like if you tried to buy it.
don't even know.
2
On
pennies.
April
That's
2
ask
pennies.
Google.
On April 19th, 2011,
You wanna
Dish
buy it?
announced let's do it. Dish announced that they would only keep 500 stores open. In May of 2011, Keyes resigned as CEO and was replaced by Michael Kelly. Between 2013 and 2014, all 300 remaining corporate-owned stores in the U.S. were closed, and DVD by mail program was shut down. In 2014, there was 51 franchise locations remaining. So that's the difference. So
Right.
this one in Oregon is a franchise.
Right.
They paid for it. They just have to pay their licensing. So it says they could stay open by paying the licensing fee to Dish. That's the only reason that they're still there. It's because they
Yeah.
didn't want to close. But all of the corporate owned locations are all gone. Yeah, it says the decline was attributed to poor leadership, which obviously makes
Shocked.
sense. By January of 2018, there were 9 remaining stores, and 8 had closed by August. So in an 8-month span, 8 stores shut down.
So you can still
Mm.
buy stock
Are you
of
serious?
Blockbuster.
I want one.
Ooh,
It is a penny
Do it.
stock.
Are
right
you
now.
shitting me?
It's penny stocks.
I'm re-downloading Robinhood.
you need to learn how to do that.
It's a
Buy
penny
stock.
stock. And this is as of December 29th, 2021. How much is original Blockbuster? How much is Blockbuster worth? A Blockbuster DOA believes that Blockbuster's brand name is worth more than $5 million. Though the company recently put an offer of 1.8, which Dish Network declined, according to Blockbuster's DOA tweet.
They paid $320 million.
Yeah, so they in 2021 they told Dish, "We'll sell you what we have left for 1.8 million," and they're like,
So
"We'll give you
how-
300 million."
how much?
Or how much they say?
They
To
bought
get
it. They
51%.
Dish won the auction for $320 million. So Dish owns Blockbuster now.
Well, then why the fuck would they decline the offer 1.8 and then have to go buy for 300?
Maybe that was after. This was in 2010. I mean, 2011.
This is saying 2021 it was declined.
So someone else was trying to buy it back probably, and they didn't want to sell it.
Interesting.
That's what it sounds like to me. Someone was trying to buy it from them, and they didn't want to sell it. Where was I? In March of 2019, the last outside of the U.S. store closed, which was in Morley, West Australia. So that one closed in 2019. And then in 2020, the Bend, Oregon, U.S. That's the only one that's left. And in 2020 they listed it as an Airbnb, the 1990s theme.
Yeah.
Sleepover. Sorry, I couldn't read what I wrote.
Insane. So they
and-
literally could have had exclusive rights to WB. They could have bought Netflix. They could have,
Mhm.
and they're just like,
All the
Well, and they
wrong
did. They
decisions.
got all of, like some of that stuff, like the Warner
But it
Brothers
was too
stuff, but
late.
it was too late.
it was too late.
Yeah,
Mhm.
They didn't get with the times. They're
they
like,
really
nah,
fucked up the Netflix.
people aren't gonna watch movies from their cell phones.
Well, and that's what I'm thinking. They had all these big CEO guys from Taco Bell and like 7-Eleven.
Taco Bell can't
They
even keep the
probably
food that we
left.
want on menus anymore.
Yeah, like they probably left there because they weren't doing well.
they're like, you guys like that shit? They're like, yeah, like
We
it's
get rid of
fucking
it.
gone.
That's
Speaking of
probably why they
Taco Bell,
left.
there's gonna be another one up by the Walmart in Hometown.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And you guys over here are getting the Jersey Mike's.
Yeah, we are. And Primo's.
I'm excited about Jersey Mike's.
Primo's
Yeah.
Hoagies is coming in by Walmart.
Did you see? Speaking of fast food addictions, you see what McDonald's brought back for the morning
steak, egg,
time?
and cheese bagel.
Yeah.
Does that mean the bacon, egg, and cheese bagel is coming back? Because I hope so.
Just order the same thing, but they have bagels now. Have it your way.
Yeah, but they put like. a special sauce. Why did they get rid of bagels in the first place?
I don't know. The bagels are
Dumb.
great.
This is the dumbest thing ever. The bacon, egg, and cheese was my
I'm like, hey, can I
favorite.
get a steak, egg, and cheese bagel? Hold the steak and put bacon on it.
Yeah.
They're like, you got us.
One last thing though. So there was that Netflix documentary.
Yes.
That was pretty good. And then it was called The Last Blockbuster. And then now there's a new show. I don't know if it's out yet. I didn't see
It's
a lot. I couldn't
not.
find it.
But
But like Randall Park is in it, which is pretty funny. And there's like a whole bunch of
What's
other
the
people.
premise of the
It's
show?
it's about the last
store.
blockbuster.
Like
But
them working at it?
the manager is not a female, which kind of
It's
annoys
Randall
me.
Park, right?
Because
That-
it's not accurate.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not
that's
actually.
So they're
weird.
just making they're using the idea of the last
Yes.
block, but they're not. It's none of it. It's actually legit, and it's like
Probably not.
it's like parody.
See, I wasn't sure if it was going to
So
be.
Randall Park
like
plays
that or-
Timmy, the manager of the Blockbuster video store.
Mm.
Let's see. It's created by Vanessa.
Isn't that Asian Jim?
Ramos.
Randall Park is Asian Jim, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Is that Agent Jim?
I'm pretty sure.
I seen a really funny tweet that said, "I don't know why everyone's going crazy about John Krasinski joining the Marvel universe. He's been here the whole time." In the show The Office, there's a prank they pulled on Dwight
Oh yeah.
where he
Mhm.
sits down at the desk and they're like, "What are you doing? Who are you?" He's like,
I'm
Jim.
Jim.
and he's like, "What?"
I'm
And then
Jim.
Dwight looks at the thing and it's like Jim and Pam, and Jim's now Asian, and Dwight, he's like pranking Jim. Yeah, I don't know why I said all that.
But according to this, anyway, for the filming side of it, they supposedly, now I don't know if this is correct or not because this is just Wikipedia's timeline of the film process for the Netflix show.
Okay.
But was supposed to start February 28th of 2022, and it should conclude around May 2nd for the filming process. So we probably won't see that until early next year.
Yeah, maybe next year.
Or late.
And by that time, there probably won't
fall
be even
or
the last
so.
blockbuster anymore.
No, that's gonna stay strong.
It-
People send them money and everything.
Is it weird that Netflix
it
is
was.
making the documentary about Blockbuster?
Yeah, I was thinking that too when I was going through it. I was
Well,
like, that's super weird.
Like
We
we
got
beat
you,
you out
bitch.
here. We're gonna make a movie about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that time you could have bought us and you
Sweet.
didn't?
So the movie, the new show through
Yeah.
Netflix too.
Yes.
So Netflix is
They,
like,
they used it
"Oh,
twice. Yeah.
you didn't buy us. We're gonna just use
Yeah.
this. And
That means
all
there's
our
gonna be a
money."
third thing coming if
Yeah.
they got two.
Oh yeah.
You know, I really hope that like they go to that Blockbuster, the one that's still there in Oregon, and like use them, even if it's just as extras, or like put their picture somewhere in the show just to be like, oh, like a nice
Yeah.
nod to them.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because I don't know. I think that'd be, I mean,
I think that would
cool
be
on
really
their
cool.
part,
on the
yeah.
front.
like they're holding the fort down. I hope like they even their merchandise
Well,
for
honestly,
it is them.
if they
So when are we
did
taking a road trip?
buy-
I
Never.
looked it
I don't
up.
know.
Ready. I want to.
How far of a
Like
drive?
a drive is like a day and 15
Oh, it's
hours.
so far. Do you
To
know where?
Ohio?
Oregon.
Oregon.
Oh,
Oregon.
they're in Oregon.
Yeah.
Why did I thought it was in
Oregon.
Ohio?
But also, if Blockbuster would have bought Netflix, it would have never worked. They didn't know what they were doing.
So you're saying
Netflix maybe wouldn't exist.
if we
right.
left
That's what I'm saying. Like they
on
were
a
terrible.
Thursday and come back on a Monday, so a day and a half drive up, stay at a room,
You say drive up like it's like.
Yeah, it's just
Do you not realize this is
a
across
day of
the
drive.
country?
Yeah, a day and a half drive.
no, yeah. It's like 2 days in the car.
And then
That's without stops.
Yeah.
we might as well just fly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Why would you drive to Oregon, you
Because we
dummy?
can do cool things, but then we'll stop too many times. And then,
Right.
yeah.
It would take
Mhm.
us like a week to get
Yeah,
there
we would
by the time we
fucking
would stop.
100 times.
You would get sick of being in the car. I got to stretch. While us short people are like, I'm good.
Yeah.
so much leg room.
What are you talking about? If one of us drives, he'll have all the leg room.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. 'Cause you guys are like, fuck it.
But we would have to stop like every 10 minutes. Someone would
Yeah.
want to see something. I would want, if I'm driving across the country,
I would love to do
I'm
that so bad.
stopping.
I
Yeah.
fucking just
I want to do a road trip big time,
I
but
just
I need
want
to
to start
stop.
in Maine and
Yeah.
go across and just fucking.
But I would
Yeah.
want to stop everywhere. Like,
Mm.
I want to see the dumb side road attractions, like
Yep.
the sketchy
Let's
things.
see a
like,
guy get bit by a rattlesnake and like fucking.
or just stay at sketchy motels and get
All right.
murdered.
Well, we are at about that time to close out.
About that time.
While I'm passing it around for plugs, I want you to guys think of some ideas too that we can pitch before we close out for next episode. You guys already said you're going to be talking amusement parks for the next Disney.
Maybe. I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe we're gonna hop on Chippendale. I don't know. We have to watch it first and see how.
Oh, you're gonna love it. You're gonna watch and be like, "Fucking, what is it? What is life?"
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it has no business being that good.
Can we do
And-
Knobles, or is that not in our wheelhouse?
Why not?
We can do whatever
No,
we
I'm just
want.
So-
It's our show.
Speaking of
Oh.
Knobles,
I feel like that's different. We haven't really done like.
I know where you're
place.
going with this, Nick.
yeah. So speaking of Knobles, and maybe we can actually do some of this, not necessarily like to this extent. But there's a guy that me and my brother and like my mom and stuff watches. His name's Tim the Tracker. He goes to like Disney and Universal and like shows like the new foods for like the different events and all that kind of stuff.
I'll go to Knobles
So,
and eat.
I was like, we'll make a spoof of him and it'll be Jim the Hunter, and we're gonna go just to Knobles though. And it's gonna like, here's the gator bites back in this corner.
Listen,
It cost me this many tickets to get on
Yeah.
this ride.
I'm honestly at the
Parking?
we
point.
could do that.
Yeah, I'm honestly at the point where, well, I'll talk more about it when I get to my plug. But go ahead, you plug yours first. You do your plug.
Okay, so in the past since our last episode, I got published in Retro Lovely's Masquerade twice.
Very cool, very cool.
Both for the Disney edition, and one of them was my very first cover
Nice.
for Caitlin's
Congrats.
edition of Belle. So that was pretty exciting.
Congratulations, man.
Thanks. Yeah.
congratulations. That was very
The
cool.
power of the podcast network.
Yeah, because without the podcast, I would have never met Michael
Mm.
and never have kind of been on this path. And he's been a great mentor since.
Yeah.
And him and Kent.
Cool.
So
Anthony.
I'm gonna plug my YouTube channel. I just put out a new Power Ranger video today, going from the classic Zeo team. So if you want to see that, go check that out.
And you guys are killing it on the Command Entertainment YouTube.
oh yeah.
Mhm.
Your mom reading books.
I don't understand how
Very
that
cool.
like the first episode she had like 100 views in the day, and I was like, oh, that's pretty
And you
good.
just upload it and forgot about it, or did you
Mm.
guys like? How did you market it, or did you just put it up and?
I mean, we like shared it on Facebook and
Yeah.
like through Twitter. And
That was
stuff,
it,
But that was
right?
basically
But
it.
this is the kicker.
Did you put tags in the video or anything?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
filled all the 500 spots of the tags on YouTube. But this is the kicker part. The second video comes out. I need to look it up like specifically what it's at right now. It's been up for 4 days now. And it still blows my mind. If it's gonna go.
And people interacting with it and commenting.
So because it's a kid's book, we put it for kids, so you can't comment on YouTube for it. But
Maybe
we're
the
getting
4 kids. Maybe
we're-
we should clean up our act.
maybe.
No.
But we are getting subscribers and stuff. But the second episode, which was 4 days ago, is at 7.1K views right now.
Your mom's a ticket.
that's great. Yeah.
And funny enough, because she read The Smart Cookie for that
Smart
episode,
cookie.
which is on the newer side of books, where the first one that she did was a bit of an older book.
She should read The Race War.
Sure.
It's a kid's book called The Race War, and it's about race cars.
Oh, okay.
There's
Um,
a guy on TikTok who reads children's book, but they're comedy children's
Yeah.
books, and they allude to things, but they're not talking about. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, part of where I'm going with this is, what was it, like 2 days after that we put the video out for the Smart Cookie?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
like that, yeah.
the Barnes and Noble at the
Whitehall.
Lehigh Valley, changed their profile photo to a new stuffed version of the Smart Cookie.
Mm.
So we obviously don't think they're actually connected, but it was just really funny timing. So now we have a bunch of these stuffed Smart Cookies to add to the set.
That's cool. I feel like that's a lot of people just give their kids a phone. Be like, here.
Well, like
Put this
when
on.
my
Like
mom,
they'll put it on for the kids to just like You sit there.
My mom originally like pitched this.
What's
to us.
face fucking a flight attendant, mom?
Not on that show. But
You
when-
weren't supposed to read it out loud.
Yeah.
That's why he texted it to you.
He should have known
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
second he
I was
texted
gonna
that.
say.
True, you should have
Yeah.
known.
I was gonna read that 100%.
I wasn't gonna read it.
Yeah,
How about that?
I knew he wasn't.
Yeah. But when she originally pitched it, she was like, I see people on like, I guess they go like a Facebook Live and they just read it and like they turn around and like show the thing. I'm like, no, I want showmanship. I don't give a crap about this, like that version of it. Like if you're doing this, we're doing it.
Yeah.
Like there's no questions about it. And I'm like, so how do you feel now? She's like, you're right. We did it better this way. I'm like,
Yeah.
uh-huh.
She's killing it, man. I'm proud of her.
Yeah. So she's doing great.
Bad entertainment, locking it down.
It's really just, did you hear me waving now?
Yeah.
Or that's just going to be our
Yeah, just
thing. Yeah. And funny enough, I said to my
Does
brother,
she play character?
yeah, so she plays KC, the initials KC, and her partner Rudy McCoodles is a little owl puppet
Are you the
that
puppet?
hangs out. No, Anthony's the puppet.
On the
Is
voice of the
Casey
puppet.
like Cheryl Cabana backwards?
Well, yes, but
Yes.
we have
How dare you.
relatives.
I'm so sorry.
Like we have a relative named Casey,
Oh, cute.
and our grandfather's name was Rudy. So
That's
like
cute.
we're throwing names and different things in.
That's cool.
As we kind of
Remember that time you thought you were going to be a whole this entire entertainment center, and now it's going to be like it's
your
going to turn into
mom.
Mrs. Doubtfire, and your mom's going to be playing a character, and that's your whole studio now.
Mama Cabana
Well,
taking over.
It's funny though, because we were like, if I said to my brother, I was like, if this all like fails, our logo already looks like a movie store. I'm just gonna make it a movie rental place and bring it back.
There it is.
Oh,
you
that was
should.
the thing that I wanted to talk about. That we about Blockbuster. There is an organization called freeblockbuster.org where they refurbish, or you can do it if you want. Basically, where it's like these free libraries where they have them where you can take books and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But you make your own version of it and you can like spray paint free Blockbuster on it, and they have like stencils and stuff that you can cut out, and you take a movie and you leave a movie
that's cool.
type deal. And there's one in Kutztown that's the closest one to us. I have not seen it, but
wanna
I would
find it.
love to
That is
check it
there?
out.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
and you can make it like the boxes out or whatever, but most people use them out of like old news, like the
Yeah,
metal
paper
like
yes.
things.
paper things and stuff too.
That's
pretty
cool.
cool.
I've seen
Uh,
book things like that.
Yeah.
We should put one outside of Cabana Entertainment.
No, that's exactly kind of what I was thinking. If we
That'd
could
be fun.
figure out how to like what the box would be,
Yeah.
I would love to, be a part of this Blockbuster world.
Yeah.
There's what I was saying earlier, and Heidi was like, nah. There's a guy, like I follow like these weird TikToks, and this one guy, like he turned his basement into an old video store, but
Yeah.
it's like a horror video
Mhm.
store.
Oh.
And like you go through his whole basement and he has VHSs everywhere, and then you go in the one room and there's a little room you can sit and watch the VHSs. I seen another one. I don't know where it is, but it's like a Blockbuster.
Yeah.
But the further you get to the Blockbuster, it turns into a horror place where like they scare you and jump out and do things.
That's cool.
It's like I don't
like
know,
a haunted house.
like a
type
haunted
thing?
house, but it looks like a video store.
That's
I saw
cool.
it.
Then there's ones that look like grocery stores and video stores, and like you open up a door and like it's a giant, huge maze. Like so, you start in a grocery store, then you're in like you open up the cooler of the store, and you're like in another world. Like
That's-
you go down a
That is cool.
slide, so it's like this giant warehouse they turn into like that looks like one thing, but you open up like a locker and it opens up to another room or
You should do a
Interesting.
Blockbuster escape room, except everyone just wants to stay there.
yeah. But yeah, it's a lot of cool things.
The only
Heidi,
escape is the late fees.
Yeah.
Get away from the late
They're
fees.
coming.
yeah, Heidi, your plug
Blockbuster in Bend, Oregon.
Yeah.
in
Let's-
Bend over Oregon.
Bend, Oregon. Let's keep them going.
Yeah.
Like forever.
Let's order stuff from them.
I did.
Okay.
I ordered about $60 of stuff today.
Nice.
Cool. So we'll
So,
order T-shirts
yeah.
and two membership cards.
You have one here somewhere. I know you do.
We'll order one from them.
We'll find it.
And
too.
one of the knit hats. I want a knit hat.
Yeah.
A
She
knit
doesn't. She has
hat.
this weird wheel thing, like that. It does it like where she like puts it. I don't know how. It all
Oh,
works, but,
okay. I
Like
think
in
I
the
know what you're talking
documentary,
about.
you can see her
Yeah.
like weave one.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
That is cool.
We have a Blockbuster trivia game.
Mm-hmm.
That
There's
you
yeah,
two
we
of
should
them,
play it.
apparently.
and it's like it looks like the parking lot, and you actually
Yeah.
put the
Yeah.
sign up.
We haven't played
Mhm.
it yet. I made my mom get it for me for Christmas.
Maybe we'll have like a game night. We'll play.
Yeah.
We should have.
Probably won't film it or anything, but we'll fuck around with it. What else you want to plug?
That's it.
That's it.
You go.
What about your Friday? What about this weekend possibly, Carrie?
Oh, I thought you were gonna plug it.
No.
Okay. Not cool in high school horror. We're talking about Carrie. Probably this weekend sometime. We don't know for sure yet when.
We'll see how it goes.
It may just
Definitely.
drop like the Disney one did.
Yeah.
Poof.
Poof, here we are.
Bucket of blood.
Yeah,
That's what I wanted to be for Halloween last year, and then
A
we didn't
bucket
get
of
to do
blood?
anything. Yeah.
just a bucket of blood.
Yeah.
She's gonna be
supposed
the
to be
bucket
Carrie.
of Prince blood.
I got a dress and everything. I was so pumped. I was looking for blood, and then it just was
I was
cold, and
gonna
we
be
didn't
John
do anything.
Travolta, but Pulp Fiction version.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You could be the pig. I was gonna cut you up.
my plug is kind of sad, but it is what it is. Interviews with everyday people, done. We're gonna go ahead and shelf that. It's just too much.
Just temporarily.
It's done. I'm just being honest. The demand for it isn't there. No one really seem like the guests like it, but like only a handful of guests actually share or retweet or anything or help promote their own episodes.
Sorry.
The clips are doing fine. I just have with the network, I have a lot of shows and it's very, very hard to try to do them all. So I kind of took a little bit of hiatus from interviews to help these other shows and try to get them on the right track. And I think that hiatus, my body and my scheduling and how I'm doing everything kind of made it hard then to go back to interviews. And I've really dropped the ball on promoting guests and reaching out and talk to them. Like I feel like I took something away and now trying to go back in. I don't know how to sneak it back in, and I got to figure out a work situation and got to do all that. So there's a lot going on personally. So now I'm just going to go ahead and and end interviews with other people. It sucks, because it was like the first show, but we have other great content, Not Cool and Tornado Tag and all that other ones. This one and TBI are fine because it's the same day, but it's every other week.
Yeah.
Tornado Tag, I watch wrestling regardless, so to talk about that is nothing. And Brian does a great job on, like, you guys do a great job on doing the topics, and we can maybe
10 pages of notes.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe more going into the future of the show is maybe, I don't want to do movie reviews all the time, but like
Yeah.
the Mother's Day episode where I thought we like kind of talk pop culture without doing a full topic. If
Yeah,
that
I
makes
thought that was
sense.
cool. That was
Yeah.
fun.
You
We'll
know,
do a Father's Day
I-
one, right?
yeah, and it makes it a little easier instead of just doing the history of something.
Yeah.
And it's just us reading where it
But I
kind
feel
of
like there's a lot, because as I was going through it,
Yeah.
I was like, there's so much. Like, what am I supposed to, like, you don't want to tell every single
Yeah.
thing because that's a lot, but like, what do you want to say? Like, what's important? What are people going to think is important? What
So-
do I think is important?
yeah. So we're essentially just trying to find ourselves and figure out what works and what's going. And
But we're here in your kitchen.
yeah, we're here in the kitchen and we're trying to figure it out.
They're easy to find. He didn't get it.
Yeah. So, so out of I think 5 is a lot, and it may even go lower. Who knows? Maybe some shows that are weekly might drop down to bi-weekly, just like these two. I don't know how it's going to work out yet, but it's just really hard to try to do them all and promote them and run all the social media to literally get like 0 comments and interaction, and then like the numbers are fluctuator. It's tough. It's really, really hard to put as much effort as we do into an episode, and then like you see like
Well, bi-weekly
25
might be better.
25 people listen to it. It's like,
Yeah.
at what point do I keep sacrificing time away from friends and family and not doing cool things and going places and taking jobs that are shitty because I want to find a job that can fit the schedule to do these podcasts? You know what I mean? Like at what point is it worth it if people don't like it? You know what I mean? So if people aren't enjoying it, how much effort can you keep putting into something? I mean, I know it's our passion and it's what we're here to do, but at the end of the day, if it's not everybody else's interest to listen, we're kind of just doing it, just screaming into the void. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to find myself there and find where we can be and how we can make things better. And trying to do that with 5 shows is very difficult. Realistically, I probably should have just did 1 in the first place and then just kind of but it is what it is. I enjoy I enjoy the
feel like-
moments and I enjoy the experiences that came from it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like you met Michael and
Yeah.
now you guys made fast friends, and that's happened on numerous occasions with the interviews
Well, and I
where
feel like
people partnered together and
We've known you guys before, but everyone else we've met through the podcast.
essentially, yeah.
Like everyone we've met through the podcast.
Yeah, it's tough. It sucks. It's tough. But yeah, so we're one show is now gone. So if you guys were a fan of that or even know it existed because you're listening to this one, yeah, that one's no longer a thing. So you feel better?
I do.
right.
Does it bother me?
So that's all I got. Not cool in high school. Oh, do you guys have an idea for
I thought we were doing Knobles.
Knobles?
I like that.
Yeah.
And we could go to Knobles.
Yeah.
We've
And now-
been to Knobles in a couple of years, buddy. We
You're
used
right.
to go every year, and it's been a couple of
That's
years.
one we're gonna have to do the history and figure things out about, because you're not gonna be able to Google like 10 facts of Knobles. I mean, it's probably
You
there,
probably
but not.
could.
Yeah, but we could do it like different where it's like
Yeah, it's not just like
our like
the whole thing.
like when mascots or something were introduced or something where
Yeah.
it's like out there, or like, you know, the gator bites, for instance, are
I
only
feel like that
available
one could
from
be
this date
easier
to
to
this
break
date.
up, like too.
Yeah.
Like we could all take it apart because like we're something like this. It's like
We
it's
could tell
just things.
Knoble memories.
Yeah.
right. Like
we could
somebody
rank
could be like
what's
foods.
what's the top 5 things that you that are like
that you
the
have to
must
do.
go.
Yeah.
I like that. We'll do a little history, but
Yeah.
we'll kind of mix things in.
Yeah, and I feel like that'd be easier to break it up so it's more of a conversation.
There
like,
it is. Not cool in high school. Next
Does Knobles.
in 2 weeks
Does
goes the
Knobles.
Knobles.
Which, by the way,
Do you
no,
almost, you ever,
we'll talk off camera.
do you almost ever get kicked out of Knobles?
No,
we did.
but
Whoops.
there's one lady that is in love with the Magic Carpet Ride, who is her lover. So there's
Well, that's gone.
documentaries and stuff. No, I'm just saying, like,
Yeah,
um,
that's on there.
I don't think there's anybody like Knobles.
Yeah,
uh-huh.
this one
Oh, yeah.
this one lady was sexually attracted to the 7 Swords or whatever it was
Yeah,
called.
the boat ride or whatever.
The one next to
pendulum.
the skloosh, the one that just kind of went up in the air and did like giant circles.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay,
Knobles.
let's wrap it
All
up.
right, so the next one will be episode
17.
113.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
113.
113.
113.
Didn't you say 116?
He did at the
One-
beginning of the
Did
episode.
I
Did
say
you?
116?
Yeah,
I
you
thought I
said
said
116.
112.
Because I wrote it down.
Oops. This is 112. 113 will be Knobles.
Well,
Well, maybe. It depends if Carrie comes out.
yeah,
Oh, 114 will be Carrie.
So it'll be 13
we
or
will be
14.
It'll be 117 by then.
Carrie will be unlucky 13. I like that.
Woo, all right.
I'm into that. All right, we'll see you guys next time. We're out of here.
Bye.
Be kind, rewind.
Be kind and rewind.
We're back.
Bye.
Bye.